Now we're recording, and I say with hard scotch in my hands, the New England Patriots are the best team in the NFL.
I might cry.
I don't actually have hard scotch, but I wish I did.
We recording? We recording?
Oh yeah, we're good. We're on, son.
Welcome to YouTube Take. I'm Big Red 310. He's Nightmareballa1. He's Nytemare10.m4v. We have, there was a very special game last night, and all of us have something to say, but I'm going to have to sit back and listen to these two fools talk first while I somber in my own self-pity at what the Patriots accomplished last night. Marakeem, since you're unbiased, start us off. What are your thoughts on the game?
That was annihilation in every sense of the word. Like, that was just brutal. Like, I'm going to be real with you. Like, that game really made me second guess if the Texans are ready or not. Like I'm seriously worried because that first game against the Packers, y'all saw how they blew that, and then that one was like that was just even more disheartening. Maybe they just can't play against good quarterbacks. I don't know, but yeah, like that. I feel like that offensive line is not getting enough credit for what happened last night because like, Tom Brady had a lot of time to throw. Against the Texans, that's a lot of time. Yeah, he got knocked down, here and there because J.J. Watt is J.J. Watt. You know what I mean? But for the most part, he had a good amount of time to throw. And, this is the Texans where you really don't get much time. You hike the ball and you got to make a decision. You know what I mean? And Tom Brady had enough time to really work. You know what I mean? And I just feel like Tom Brady's getting too much praise, even though he did play amazing. He's getting a little too much praise for what happened. Like, I mean, hell, he threw a perfect pass to Dante Stallworth that Dante Stallworth didn't mess up. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Did he mess up earlier too?
Well, he's Dante Stallworth. You can expect that. But, I feel like right now, at this moment, it would be hard to argue against the Patriots being the best team in the AFC, arguably the best team in the NFL, because the past how many weeks now? How many weeks has it been? Like, how many games they won in a row?
Since the Seahawks game, so yeah, seven. So
it's been 7 games in a row, and then they blew out who a lot of people consider the best team in the NFL. You know what I mean? I feel like they are the best team in the AFC. I'll say this: they're playing. Right now at this moment, yes, they are. But I don't feel like they're the most complete team in the AFC. I still feel like that's the Texans. No, I'm at the Broncos. I still feel like that's the Broncos, but. But right now, it's hard to argue against the Patriots. And I will say this. Matt Schaub, I hate to do it. Well, I love to do it because I really don't like the guy. He went to Virginia, so whatever. It's time to question, is he a big-time quarterback? Is he just a good quarterback or a big-time quarterback? Because he's had 2 chances to show everyone that he's a big-time quarterback. And, look what happened. The first time he wasn't he was better the first time than he was last night. And he wasn't very good the first time. Yeah, I wonder about Matt Schaub. I do. Like I just don't know. Because, the Texans decided, hey, we're gonna keep you. We ain't even gonna go after Peyton Manning. I'm starting to wonder, was that the right choice? I hate to say it, kid, but whenever it truly matters, late, he's been, that doesn't bode well for playoff time. It just doesn't. Something to think about. Because at that point, it always matters. You know what I mean? So
and Marquez, I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to say this because it's relevant to this little part.
No. This is your moment. Go ahead.
I wanted to say, with all the hate that Matt Ryan gets, because of the fact that he hasn't been able to win a playoff game,
don't you dare.
What? No, I'm not saying this isn't the same because it's not the playoffs. But I'm saying what you're saying about Matt Schwab. Oh, I said it. I knew I was going to say it. Matt Schwabby boy. If you say it about, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to somewhat show a little bit of that to him. If you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'll.
Schaub hasn't failed in the playoffs 3 times.
Well, right, but this is still big.
Yeah, I'll wait on that. I'll wait on it because we got to see how he actually does in the playoffs. I'll wait on that.
Right, and I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not trying to say that's the exact same thing. I'm just saying,
I'm worried he'll end up being like Matt Ryan. Let's
right. That's what. Yeah. Right. Okay, sorry.
No, you're fine, Phil, because it is a fair question. But that game was huge for the Patriots, man. Because like, going forward, they can see if they went out and the Texans kind of stumble, they end up being the 1 seed. And I feel like if they're the 1 seed, they'll go to the Super Bowl. Like this simple as that. I feel like the Texans have shown that Foxborough is a problem. Yeah, I mean, for them, that game. I know, and people are overstating that game. Like, because let's be honest, we were just talking about on this show. It can happen to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, there have been times where it happened to the Texans twice, though, which is a little bothersome. But look at look at the Niners a few weeks ago against the Giants. You know?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You know, it could just happen. It can happen to anybody. So
the Patriots have a loss to the Cardinals.
Or right. Besides that, but they haven't had a blowout yet.
Yeah, they got blown out yet.
Well, I think.
I
don't want this is the last thing I'll say before our team goes. I think Belichick. It's gonna be really hard to blow up Belichick. Like, I can't remember the lot. I know the Dolphins shut them out at home a few years ago, but like it's just too hard to blow out Belichick. Just saying. Continue, Markeem.
Yeah, and I just want to get on the media real quick. I'll let y'all go at it because y'all gonna talk more about the X's and O's. I got nothing but praise to say about the Patriots. They play really well. The Texans have a lot to prove at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I do believe that they will not be this bad. You know what I mean, in the playoffs, but that was abysmal. That was terrible. And Gary Kubiak was terrible because I kept tweeting on Twitter that be balanced, don't be predictable. Oh, he was balanced. He was highly predictable. Run on first down, run on second down, pass on third down.
Pass on it was always it ended up being like 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12.
It was ridiculous. Like, you ain't gonna be not just the Patriots. You ain't gonna be nobody like that. You ain't gonna be a high school team like that, son. Come on, like, you just can't do that. But let me get on the media real quick. Phil, you about to be mad at me. Sorry.
Don't interrupt.
No, I'll wait.
The Tom Brady page is a little ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous. I feel like what Stephen A. Smith said on First Take this morning pretty much summed it up for me. He was like, people totally discount the fact that Brady has had something that no one else in his league can say they had, and that is continuity. You know what I mean? Him and Bill Belichick are pretty much chained at the hip. You know what I mean? And that means a lot. That means a lot. Like, people are saying after this game now, Tom Brady should be in the MVP discussion. We have seen, and I'm sorry, Phil, there is proof of this. We have seen that in Belichick's system, even Matt Castle can be effective. You know what I mean? So, and the idea of most valuable player is the value you are to your team. And I feel like for as great as Brady is, and he is valuable, he is about half as valuable as someone like Peyton Manning or Adrian Peterson has been this year. And I feel like the idea of even entertaining him as MVP it infuriates me. And aside from his numbers, which is why I say he should be Offensive Player of the Year, because they did the same thing to Drew Brees. Drew Brees had them crazy numbers, and they gave him Offensive Player of the Year. Fine, because we all knew he wasn't MVP. Well, what then? Nah, that would look different. You probably could argue that, but not with Tom Brady. Nah, I'm sorry, Phil, but no. Most valuable player, like, and he had Skip Bayless. Like, well, now I got to go over Peyton Manning. Even though all year, just week one, this man was like, Peyton Manning's going to be an MVP candidate. And then since about week 4, he was like, he's the MVP. And he didn't stay with that all year. Last night, this one game made him say, oh, forget Manning. Now I got to go with Brady. Really, dude? Like it's like every time the Patriots do something well, it's overstated. You saw, and it's not me hating, because y'all saw this went on for how long, giving him praise? How long?
8 years.
This is real. Like, this is real. Like, it gets overplayed, and that's why they are truly the New York Yankees of the NFL, because everything they do is under a microscope, and that comes from the dominance, which they deserve a lot of respect for. But it's still ridiculous. I mean, every time they do something well, it's times 2. Every time they do something bad, whatever. Tom Brady get it together. whatever. I mean, like I do feel like they've earned that right, but it's not fair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say. I'll go ahead.
So
Phil?
it's I can go.
Yep. I'm still drinking.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to comment on what Markeem just said, and then I'll go into what I want, some of the things I wanted to say about the game and so forth. With Markeem, what he said, I think that what you said is right about when it comes to the media. When we talked about this, because you even said this yourself, that yeah, they're the Yankees, but at the same time, they're the non-Patriot fan. The consensus around the people is they can't ever do anything good enough, or they can't even do. So it's opposite when you compare it to the media. I totally agree. Media, they do overplay everything and they underplay, or when something bad happens, it's not. It's Patriots, they'll bounce back. So I agree with that as far as the media. But when it comes to other fans, like I said in the last YouTube take, I'll say it again in this one, and especially after this game again, because it's happened. Because I saw it again happen, where the Patriots do something dominant and it's whatever. They can't. They're still the best team. It's like they won the AFC last year and it doesn't mean anything because they lost the Super Bowl. Like that stuff continues with the Patriots. And I understand the media, and I agree with 100% with you. And I love me some Brady. I'm actually not mad with what you say because I totally agree with what Stephen A. Smith said. Totally agree. I don't think Brady, and I said this before this show when we were talking. I said I don't think Brady should be MVP. I think he can be in the talks, but mainly only be in the talks because of his numbers. But he shouldn't even be close to AP or Peyton Manning because I do believe outside of I despise the whole Matt Castle thing. I really do. But I still think
it's true though, Phil. You can't argue
it's not true
though.
as far
it's
as
true.
You can't compare Castle to Brady. Like yes, it's true as in Castle.
His numbers were comparable.
Castle is not taking you to a Super Bowl. I mean, let's stop that.
I agree with that, but I'm saying that they had a fair amount of 11-5 without Tom Brady, man. You can't, you know what I mean?
That says a lot.
Drew. Hold on, Phil. Drew Bledsoe. I'm totally gonna let you talk. Shit's popping in my head. Drew Bledsoe. You know, I mean, he was pretty much set up in that system to win a Super Bowl when Tom Brady came in. It didn't really matter who the quarterback was. It was probably gonna happen. You know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by that. Phil, I'm not discrediting Brady. I'm just saying that in Bill Belichick's system, you can have a reasonable amount of success. You just can't. It doesn't really, like if you can effectively get the ball from point A to point B, you can have a reasonable amount of success.
And that's why I think when Brady leaves, whoever takes over, like
you can't talk. You can't. Go ahead, Phil.
Fuck you.
But what I was going to say about that is, though, I agree with that aspect. What I'm saying is when people take it too far and they say like Castle, if you just put back Brady and it's the same team. No, it's not. Like if Castle takes over, they don't go. They don't have that 2007 like they don't have stuff like that. I mean, they don't go to the Super Bowl on a kiss. Again, like Brady makes them that much better.
Who said that?
No, that's what people make that out. They don't say, well, they could do the same thing they're doing now. I don't agree with that. The Patriots could not do the same thing they're doing now with Castle. They could still be a good team, but they're not going to do the same. Like Castle still did not produce like Brady does on a consistent basis. He did it one year that he needed to do it, and that's it. Like and the game was managed for that. Like that's when I get mad about the whole Castle Brady's a system guy kind of thing, is because people act like Brady is not anything different than Castle, and that's just flat out wrong. Like completely jokeable wrong. And that's my problem when it comes to that. But anyways, we've beaten that dead horse all day.
If this was 7 years ago, I would disagree with you. But in the past 5 years, that man has totally proven all is wrong. So yeah,
right.
I agree with you, Phil.
Right, which is my point. So what I'm going to say is, okay, I don't feel like talking about this anymore as far as Castle stuff, because that's not what I was talking about. But it's back to the MVP thing. Like I said, I agree with Stephen A. I actually think Brady should be up there for Offensive Player of the Year because of his stats, like you said with Breeze. Great point with that.
Like if he wins, I would be mad. Like it'd be cool.
But something,
I'm cool with that.
Right? But something you didn't say, but I don't think you said it. Like I said, my brain sometimes farts. But Stephen A. did say this, and I totally agree with this. Is what's I gonna say? What Brady has around him is totally better than what AP's working with in Minnesota. Well, I know he's not a quarterback, but you know what I'm saying.
I said that.
Okay, but and the same thing with Peyton. Now is it? I mean, like I'm saying, like, you know, we have I've always praised our offense. You know, what I mean, when Hernandez is healthy, Gronkowski's healthy. We have Welker, we have Brandon Lloyd, and then you know we have
must be nice, Phil. Must be nice.
And we have good running backs. So for that reason alone, I think is the reason why Brady just can't be in it, no matter what his number, unless his numbers are just flat out ridiculous, which they're really good.
Like 07.
Like 07, like I said, right, which is why he won it. So I mean, unless it's that ridiculous, I don't think he can win it, and that's a Brady fan. I would love to see him win it. You know, but if he wins it, it's not, you know, it's not right. I mean, Peyton Manning has done more for. I mean, this is the same. Keep in mind, I'm a Tebow fan. Always have been. You know, I was a reporter from last year, but the same people that were some of the Tebow supporters were like, well, he has no one to throw to. Well, if those same people are saying that now Peyton has weapons, it's stupid, because what happened? They got the same weapons. So to say that Peyton now has weapons all of a sudden is just stupid. Because Tebow had the same guy. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like Peyton Manning's working with the same thing and making that team into a power. I mean, to a legit contender, where Tebow, you know, got into the playoff win, whatever. But that's not what this is about. What I'm saying is, you know.
Question real quick. Not to cut you off, Phil. I want to ask y'all a question. Skip Bayless said this, and it was something to think about. Y'all think Peyton Manning's playing the best football he's played his entire career this year?
I wouldn't say that.
I think if he's not, it ranks up there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like he's had better seasons.
Not the Super Bowl year, but the year before that, where they lost to the Steelers, I think, in the playoffs, where fucking Bob Sanders recovers a fumble and runs straight up he has an entire field and just big fucking fat Ben Roethlisberger, and he just runs straight into
that.
Like the most illogical thing I've ever seen.
I do remember that too.
Why you as a football player do not run on the outside and score a touchdown? The Colts win that game. That team, I remember I thought Peyton Manning was like the scariest man I'd ever seen. Like, I remember that year, the Colts just looked like monsters that year, and Peyton was playing out of his mind. So, if it wasn't for, I think that year might have been better, but not much. I mean, Peyton Manning is definitely.
I think it's definitely up there, if not for what his numbers are in general, but the fact that a lot of people were still writing this guy off. I mean, let's not hide that again. You know, people were writing this guy off as saying that he won't be the same. And I mean, I understand some, you know, but. He's still coming off of next.
We got off topic.
I know. He's coming off of neck surgery, and you know, you have to that counts into it. I definitely think it's one of his best. I'll say that, Marky. But anyways, so I guess I mean that as far as Brady talks, it's pointless to talk, like I said, because we all agree Brady should win the MVP. So there you go. Should he win Offensive Player of the Year? We'll find that out later. I don't really care about that, to be honest. But yeah, let's go to the game and get back to the topic. As far as the game goes, I openly admit, I said this on Twitter, but I did not go the way I thought it would go. I didn't think we would blow them out. I thought that we would score, you know, a fair amount, 40-something. No, I thought we would probably be anywhere between 24 to 30-something. 30-something is a lot, but if the Jags can do it, we can do it. So, I mean, the biggest concern with the Texans going in, and I didn't get to say this because of just how things went in that last podcast. Y'all listened, and very entertaining. But anyways, I wanted to say that that's my biggest skeptical about the Texans was their cornerbacks, because I mean they have a lot of injuries. I mean they had Stanford route playing. I want to say Stanford. I forget. I always mess up his first name.
It's Stanford.
It is Stanford. Okay, Stanford route playing as a cornerback. Not that he's horrible, but they said something about he got like so many different
that motherfucker got cut by the Chiefs.
Right, right. So when he's
you know you suck.
Right. So when he's on, and they said something about he's been on the most losing teams.
He got cut by the Raiders last year, and then he got cut by the Chiefs.
But right. Anyways, so I mean that's what I'm saying. I think the people were just looking so much at, and not taking anything away from J.J. Watt, but people were looking so much at that defensive line that they were forgetting that their offense. I mean that defense has given up some points lately. And they weren't looking at the fact that this is probably the best offense outside of Green Bay, regardless of whichever one you want to look at as the better offense that they faced all year. Oh, and Denver, but they beat Denver. So
no, this year is clearly the Patriots.
Right, that's what I would say. But I'm just throwing the other teams. So it's out there. But this is clearly could be very well the best team best offensive team they face at least. So for everyone's thinking was J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt had to was going to be a factor. Everybody was thinking, he's going to get to Brady. He's going to go crazy. He did get to Brady.
He got to Brady, that's for sure.
He did hit him a lot of good times. Or not good. I don't know why I say it like that. But anyways, I'm saying he did hit him a bunch of times. And at first it looked like he wasn't doing much, but to give it to him of why J.J. Watt was still a beast in that game, just look at the Danny Woodhead play. I mean, they were out of it by that point anyway. I mean, in the sense of things, they were pretty much out of it. So, and especially if they score there, if the Patriots score there and they end up doing on that play. But I'm saying, like, J.J. Watt still comes all the way around and catches Woodhead and causes him to fumble. Goes in the end zone, touchdown Patriots. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about J.J.
That was destiny right there. That was just
that
was God hiding that ball in it.
But that's just my point. I think J.J. Watt. I don't want to sit there and say that J.J. Watt did nothing just because he didn't get a sack.
That's not true.
Right. But I know some people would overblown it because he didn't get the sacks, he didn't, and stuff like that.
He put Brady on his back like 4 plays in a row. Right. Like it was right after Brady threw the ball, but that motherfucker definitely got to Brady.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I think that defensive line, I'm not discrediting them at all, but on the same side, and Markeem talked about this, that O-line played out their butt to do that, to hold J.J. Watt as best as they could. That's what I felt. I felt like that O-line played. Well, it was great to have Logan Mankins back, by the way, and Connolly was healthy. So it was great to have those guys solidly for the majority of the game. And I think that made a factor in being able to hold off J.J. Watt as much as you possibly humanly can. I mean, let's face it, you're just not going to hold him back, enough, or you got to hold him back.
That first half, he really didn't do much. It was the second half, I think, just because they were kind of tired.
Right. That's what I think. That's when the majority of. That's what I was talking about as far as I don't want to say he did nothing, but he didn't do what normal J.J. Watt or whatever in the first half. But like I said, you have to. I want to give credit to I said mine, but anyways, the Patriots' offensive line because of how well they played. And I also want to give the credit, and I brought this up when Markeem was talking, is the defense. That defense, I honestly think that defense played, and they didn't even get as many turnovers as they have in the past. I think the defense played probably their best game, arguably. But I think they did play one of their best games this season.
That was the best thing I've seen from them since like the Super Bowl season. Like they were really good in that game.
Their cornerbacks, which you can arguably say no-name cornerbacks. I mean, their names that I know, but I mean, Denard, who's a rookie, who was taken in the, I'm going to get this wrong. I want to say fifth or seventh round, somewhere in between there. Missed like the first 4 games. And he played really good in that game. Then you have Kyle Arrington, who played really good, who has tendencies to do pass interference a lot, but he played really good on guys, Andre Johnson, several guys like that. And same thing with what's the other guy I'm thinking? Well, I'm thinking safeties too. Devin McCourty, Gregory, and I want to say this on the show. As a Patriots fan, I can't believe I messed this up. I just guess I didn't notice it watching the game as far as things. But Patrick Chung was not hurt against the Dolphins. He is actually not starting anymore. They've got him coming in as a replacement role now. I don't know why exactly, but that's just Belichick. He does that sometimes. He switches things.
He's a nickel back as well.
No, he just comes back. He doesn't play at all. He'll come in as a backup safety. So I don't know.
What kind of shit is that?
Maybe he's still not 100%, and that's why he's doing it. So I don't know. But Gregory's starting and not Chung. So I want to just clarify that. But still, I think that defense played like really good. I was so proud of him. Ben Warford is a beast. The man can still play.
Man, fuck that dude.
You still have to fear that man. He went to Mr. Big Rat's favorite school.
Fuck.
So that's why Markeem's saying that.
But that motherfucker, I'm tired of people saying that guy's the best defensive tackle in the AFC. He's not even the best defensive tackle in the AFC East. Randy Starks has more stops and more tackles. Look it up.
Well. I'll say this. Hold on, Phil. Yeah. I'll say this. I can't think of a defensive tackle with more impact on a defensive line than that dude.
Right. I think that's what it is.
Like even beyond the numbers, I've never seen since it's been a while since I've seen a tackle since probably Warren Sapp control the line of scrimmage like that. That's just being real.
And that's
what he did last night. That was incredible.
And I mean,
so you're not just gonna bury the Patriots on this show today. It's not gonna happen, kid.
Hey, I'll have my time. I'll have
Right,
my
okay.
time. I'll have my time.
I know, but anyways, like I said, Vince Wilfork's a beast, and I totally agree with what Rakeem's saying. I think, and he's done that for so long. I mean, he's been with us so long. I think 14 seasons. I want to say. I think that's what they said.
It ain't been that.
No. 2000 since 2000.
So that's.
No, you sure about that? Wasn't he on the national championship game?
No, he was not. He got drafted.
He wasn't.
He got drafted the same year as Vernon Carey. He was on the first. His first season was the first Super Bowl.
No, he wasn't on. Well, yeah, he was.
He definitely has 3 rings. Like I know that.
He does have right. He's the only guy on the defense, and Brady's the only guy on the offense. Yeah. Vince
Wilfork wasn't on the.
I am.
Yes,
you're old.
You're old.
Right, but anyways, I mean, I think that defense is just. And then Chandler Jones was back. I mean, he didn't really have that much of a factor in the game, but he's coming back for injury, whatever. But I think he's going to be, once he can get back healthy, he's going to be a good asset to Ninkovich, which I didn't find out until a couple podcasts ago or whatever. Played for Miami. I was sad that I didn't know that.
Yeah, I said that the reason, the way you can tell the Patriots are a great organization is that the Jets pick up Clyde Gates, Lex Hilliard, and Dedrick Epps, guys that all suck. The Patriots pick up Donald Thomas, Wes Welker, and Rob Ninkovich from the Dolphins cut squad.
Right, and Ninkovich just played really good.
Don't make me cry.
It's just I really like how this defense is forming. I'm not trying to just like gloat all over my team, but there's like when they come together, the defense is a lot better than people give them credit for. I mean, the linebackers are really. We have Gerard Mayo, Brandon Spikes, Ninkovich included. I mean, what's the other Hightower we just drafted, who had some great hits in that game.
Phil, you remember when I said a couple weeks ago, I was like, I just want to see them play as well as I knew they can both sides of the ball.
Right.
Not leave them alone. That was the game. Last night was that game. That's what I wanted to see. This, like before I'm ready to just say, okay, they might be the best team in the AFC or in the NFL or whatever you want to say. I had to see them play that type of game because usually they don't. That's why they get all this criticism, Phil, because you rarely see that. And I mean,
I agree. It's either
Brady's killing everybody, and they not stopping anyone, or they're struggling on offense, and the defense is playing surprisingly well. It's
right. And another thing, I mean, and just say something, and I'm going to go off on a little, or go towards that a little bit too. I said it in the Dolphins game, and I'll say it again for the Texas game. And it seems like we've had this a little bit, and this is one of my concerns in general because it just seems like it happens. But we do really, really good in the beginning of the game, get a lead, and then we have a lot of consecutive 3-and-outs. And it all depends on can that other team capitalize. Well, most of the time the team doesn't capitalize. And again, what happened against the Texans? They capitalized once. Like that was it. You have to, and I know this is sounding like it's an easy thing to say. It should be something for every team. But when the Patriots, their offense, the way that as high powered as it is, you can't. When you get 3-and-outs consecutively, you can't just go out there and get duds and get nothing for it to show for it. You have to get points on the board. And I understand they went for it twice on 4th down. One time I actually thought they should have went for the field goal. The other time I understood it. But I see the arguments for both going for it on both times. I mean, a field goal really doesn't do anything when you're down 21-0, so I understand it. But it's whatever as far as that. But I do think, like I said, I think this defense played really good. I think the offense played really good. And like I said, I agree with Markeem. Finally, they both played. And that's the thing. That's my thing about this whole game is this team played exactly how I knew they could play. When I was so confident in picking them against the Texans, and it's not because I was trying to tell people, and I know it was hard to get out sometimes, but it's not just because I believe, or not just because I'm a Patriots fan. Like when I honestly believe this team can beat any team. And until if I don't ever believe that, then I won't pick them. Or I'll just stay away from the game. I understand my things about just not liking to pick against them. But as far as being confident in picking the game, when I say that, I'm honestly confident. I honestly think the Patriots are the better team. When I pick them, when I literally come out and say that, I do think they're the better team. And I thought that against Houston, and Big Rat's laughing about something. But I thought that against Houston, and I'll say it again. I mean, I'll say it again this week against San Fran. I think that they're a better team. I mean, when I think that, I'm gonna pick them.
You lost me there, Phil.
What? Well, I know you're gonna. We'll get to that game when it happens. But anyways, there's something else that as far as the game went, that's how I've talked enough about the actual game. There's two things that I wanted to bring up that I knew were going to happen right after this game because I said this last podcast and I knew it was going to happen. The media does what they do. We've already talked about the media, but the people continue to do this against my Patriots, and I'm sick and tired of it. And I'm going to go off on them, including Brandon, which I'll get to in a second. But I can't stand how, regardless of what the Patriots, all right, the Patriots 42-7, ran up 7 points at the end, 42-14, whatever, destroyed the Texans on all aspects of the game. And then after the game, literally, and then people want to know why I should have calmed down on Twitter or whatever. I said one thing, but whatever. The problem is why am I mad? Like why did I have some comments to say after that? I enjoyed my game. I enjoyed the win over the Texans. But the fact that we still hear, well, the Patriots still, this doesn't mean anything because the Patriots can't do anything. They whatever, they haven't done anything in a while. Just because they haven't won a Super Bowl, like I understand where the pedestal that the Patriots are on. They've done that themselves because they've been a contender. I understand that. But the fact that because they just went to the Super Bowl last year. I don't care. I do care, honestly. I don't want to say I don't care that they lost because I do 100% care that they lost. But to discredit them saying that they did nothing, that's literally what it comes off of as that we just beat Houston, proved why that I've said the whole time and why the Patriots are about as one of the best teams in the NFL and the best team in the AFC is because because the Texans, what did they like? I'm not taking anything away from the Texans. They've had a great year. Have the Texans been to the Super Bowl? No, they haven't. And I understand the Texans are not the same team. The Texans aren't the same team as the Patriots. But have they? Why did the Texans? Why can the Texans? My point is, why can the Texans be favorites for the AFC? But it's so wrong for the New England Patriots to be favorites for the NFC or for the AFC. Like that's what I don't get. That I don't get why when Patriots have proven themselves, they've gone to they've at least won the AFC. And it was last year. And Big Rat, you can continue to laugh, but it's the truth. So listen to the truth because you need to learn it. But anyways.
That was awesome.
And the other thing that gets on my nerves, and this is where Brandon comes in, and I don't care if he listens to the show or not, but I'm going to call him out. To say that the AFC Championship means nothing. All right, we talked about the Bills. We've talked about how losing 4 straight Super Bowls. It's horrible. That's such an extreme that I can't even talk about that because it's just what can you say about that? I mean, obviously you don't want to go to 4 straight Super Bowls and lose. I get that. But to say that winning an AFC Championship just because they lose the Super Bowl or winning the NFC Championship, I'm talking about both sides, or winning the NFC Championship and then losing the Super Bowl means nothing, especially when the game came down to a last-minute touchdown anyway. It's like you're going to say that the AFC, like become an AFC champion or become an NFC champion means nothing is a stupid comment, and I'm going to say it like this. You don't watch pro football or you don't care. Because if you're going to tell me, I know that teams are different. I know the Patriots compared to teams that have never been to a Super Bowl are different. But you're going to tell me if a team makes it to the Super Bowl and lose it, it means nothing? I mean, I understand Patriots. It's win Super Bowl or fail. I mean, I believe that. I've said that before the season. I support them every week of the NFL season. But when it comes down to it, if we don't win the Super Bowl, it's going to suck. It's going to be a failure in my eyes. It is. But the fact that when you're comparing them to other top teams in the AFC, you can't just look at them, well, they didn't win the Super Bowl, so I guess we can't even talk about them. Yet the other team you're talking about against them didn't win it, even make it. So, I mean, I understand Houston had injury. I'm just saying every time that New England is compared, you have the extremes. I understand Patriots are always going to be plugged by the media. It happens. Brady's their boy. I understand that. But to say when you're comparing who's the better team, Houston and New England or Denver and New England, I mean, and I know there's aspects into it, but you can't say that AFC championships and stuff like that don't matter. Like, don't tell me that. Like, don't tell me that the Patriots have done nothing. Like, and discredit stuff that they've done. And then when they win and they prove you wrong in the Houston game, you're so butthurt about it that you're gonna say, well, we'll see what they do. Yet you don't care what you don't even talk about how the Texans. You should be a little bit worried about the Texans. To be honest, if the Texans hold on to the number one, I still think that the game will be. I think the game could be a lot closer, and it may go a different way. I don't know. We'll talk about that game if that comes down to the road. So what I'm saying is you can't. Yeah, I mean to say it's always like this, and I know it's just probably because I'm a Patriots fan and this is how I hear it. But I'm just saying, like it's over and over again. They discredit things that the Patriots do. Just because they just can't stand it. Look, the Patriots have had 12 winning seasons. Get over it. I mean, that's the bottom line. I understand you hate the Patriots because they win. They haven't had a losing season in forever. just hate them. I mean, but you can't discredit what they've done just because they haven't won a Super Bowl. Yes, the Patriots need to win a Super Bowl. That's what they want to do. That's what fans want to see because everything else is a fit to the fans and to the team. But to say that
the bigger is giving us some gems right now. He's giving us some Stephen A. Smith type shit.
Here. And I'm almost done, but it just bothers me. Like I cannot stand that that's the first thing you hear. It's like, and to me, you know what that comes off as, and it may not be true, but it comes off as Patriot hate. It does when after the game, that's all you have nothing to say about the Patriots. Like Markeem said everything good about the Patriots because he knows that that's what happened in that game. He can't deny what happened in that game. If something down the road, like he said, and I agree with that too. If something down the road changes, or if in the playoffs they meet again, we can talk about it when it gets there. But at this point, you can't. To me, honestly, I don't see how you can discredit that the Patriots are the best team in the AFC. I just do not see it. And you know what? I'm gonna leave it at that, and we'll see what Big Red says.
Hold on. Now, I gotta say this. I see where Brandon was coming from, and I also see where you're coming from. Like, I get what you're saying, but the one problem I have with that is that in every sport, and it gets on my nerves. It does. It gets on my nerves that people hang too much on what happened last season, like the season before, because there have been so many times, especially recently. Well, maybe not so much recently, but I remember it was like a point in time this was always happening where the team that lost the Super Bowl wouldn't even make the playoffs the next year. You know what I mean? So I kind of get what Brandon means, but the AFC titles mean nothing. I don't think he means it like that, but I get what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? I can't understand what he means. I don't think he means it like in those exact words, like making the Super Bowl means jack. But I think he's saying that it shouldn't be celebrated, which I do agree with. It shouldn't be celebrated. It shouldn't, because that is a failure. It just is. but I get what you're saying too.
But like I said, if another team makes it to the AFC, wins the AFC outside of the Patriots, and they lose the Super Bowl, no one will say that. That's the truth. No one will say anything.
I don't know about that.
If Peyton Manning, I will say on record, if Peyton Manning makes it to the Super Bowl and they lose with the Broncos, no one will say the same thing as if the Patriots. It won't happen. You know that.
I don't know about that, Phil.
They'll be like, oh, well, the Broncos should win the AFC.
We'll see. We'll see.
Go ahead, Big Rat.
I remember back in the day. Hold on. Shut up, kid. I remember back in the day they used to, they used to happen a lot. Though, Phil. Like people was like, oh, you don't matter. You didn't win. They used to happen a lot though. Like look at the Titans. When you remember the Titans, you remember Titans and Rams, right? What happened to what happened after the Titans lost? People was like, you don't matter.
Yep. 2 yards too short.
I don't know. We'll see.
And like I said, compared from the AFC Championship, winning the AFC Championship compared to the Super Bowl win is nothing. They're not even close. Like I'm not saying that, but I'm saying to just completely act like winning the AFC means nothing or winning your conference and getting to the Super Bowl means nothing. It's just flat out stupid. I mean, that's just what it is.
I don't know. I get what you're saying, though, Phil. I'm kind of indifferent on that.
All right, Big Rat, it's your floor.
All right. I have a lot to say, and I would really, really like to be uninterrupted, no matter what. I don't care if you...
I interrupt you.
Okay. Before yesterday's game, and I said this on Twitter, that I thought the Patriots were the fourth best team in the NFL. For all the hate I get for being the Patriots hater, I did think that they were still the fourth best team in the NFL, right behind the Broncos, Niners, and Texans. Last night's game was a massacre. And I'm going to say nice things about New England, and then I'm going to say not so nice things about New England. Their running game has gotten better. I mean, Ridley has 1,000 yards already. I didn't
know that until last night.
Yeah, I can't discredit that. Their Vince Wilfork is playing pretty much at his prime, even though he's a 12-year veteran in the NFL. Their cornerbacks are getting better in the press man-to-man coverage. I know that Rodgers said in an interview that the reason they gave up so many yards, the Packers, was because when they played man-to-man against really, really fast guys, they couldn't cover them very well. That's why Victor Cruz had a field day with the Packers last year, where they almost beat the Packers in that season. And he said the Patriots have a similar problem. But as we saw last night with Andre Johnson and with Gene, I don't even know what his fucking first name is, the receiver for the Texans. The Patriots made great coverage. Now, Schaub could have placed the ball better, but the Patriots have done better there. And they can run, and their offense is what their offense is always going to be. Their line has gotten a lot better. They're a very good team. They're a very, very balanced team. Very respectable team. Now.
Here it comes.
Phil might not like this.
Here comes the butt.
This isn't a but. This is fact. When I said that the Patriots can't beat a team over 500, I didn't really know what I was looking for. But I think I figured it out finally. I think I've finally figured it out. That it's not just a team over 500, it's a competent team. Or a division rival, as we've seen 3 times this year. When the Patriots face a team that doesn't have an answer for Brady, it's a massacre. It's,
minus last night.
Oh, yes, but when a team doesn't have the coverage in the right place, or they're only using a 3-man rush or whatever, basically their only chance to win is to try to outscore Brady, which, as we've all seen, is hard. Like the Bills almost did it. Like, that was the thing. It's not like the Bills had a great system in place to stop the Patriots' offense. No, they had to outscore them, and they don't have enough talent to do that. When a team does figure out this Patriots high-octane 40-point offense, when a team does figure them out, and it's the opposing team is either a good team or has a good head coach, the Patriots will lose if the other team is competent enough. Because the Dolphins and Jets... Hold on, I'm finishing this point.
I was about to say, you got to give an example.
The Dolphins and Jets figured these motherfuckers out and should have won both those games, but both these teams just aren't good enough. The Seahawks and Ravens figured these motherfuckers out and were able to stop them because these teams are good enough. The Giants, 2 Super Bowls, have been able to figure out how to limit Brady. And when they do that, if the team is competent enough, they get the job done. That's why.
Kid, basically you're saying Brady a bust, as you saying?
Say it again?
You're saying Brady a bust, as you saying?
It's not just Brady or bust. Sometimes, I think the Niners are going to make Brady struggle, but I do think at the same time, like with Gronk last year, and we saw it last year with Gronk, it doesn't matter what you do with Brady. If you give Gronk time, Gronk will embarrass you. Fuck
Gronk? Not Gronk. Who's Gronk?
Gronk. It's late. Gronk will embarrass you. And Aaron Hernandez last night, you gave him time, and Aaron Hernandez embarrassed the defense. And I really do think that's why with the Patriots, we'll see games where they'll win by 40 points, or we'll see games where they'll struggle to the wire to win against mediocre teams. And in 3 cases this year, 2 really, lose to good teams. And I think that in the playoffs, because here's my thing. The Patriots, it's a little different this year. But one of the main reasons why I've hated the media praise of the Patriots from 2007 to 2011 is because the team was almost exactly the same. It was a very, very similar formula. And they had proven year after year that once someone figures out how to defend it properly, they can't win. And, look at the playoffs last year. They played Tebow in the first round, a team that a lot of people really didn't think should have even been in the playoffs. But I'm not going to discredit them.
Oh, God. Don't get me started, but go ahead.
Then they played the Ravens, a team that did figure them out, but that choked the game away. And many people left that game thinking that the Ravens were the better team. And then they fought the Giants, who, do what they do, beat the Patriots. I really do think that unless it's the Packers in the Super Bowl, where I see if it's Brady versus Rodgers, I see that being a 40-38 type game. Because I think neither of those defenses, as good as Vince Wilfork is, Aaron Rodgers is just going to, he will make people say what they've been saying about the Patriots defense the past 5 years. I really do think that you put a competent enough defense that knows how to cover West properly, that knows how to handle the slot, that knows how to give enough press coverage to not make Gronk embarrass you, that can decently stop the run, that can set a decent amount of pressure towards Brady. The Dolphins made Brady look confused. Ryan Tannehill had a better game than Tom Brady did that game. Look at their numbers. Like, I mean, the Patriots have been blessed. And they are a very good team nonetheless. I'm not saying that they're not a good team, but I'm saying that, I mean, we saw it with the Broncos. The Broncos didn't have an answer for them, and Brady just dropped 30 points on them. And Payton had to try to match Tom Brady, and he didn't have enough time to do it. I do think that Houston fucked up. I do think the Patriots are a great team, but I don't think that this changes anything we haven't already thought about the Patriots. I think that they played a team that wasn't prepared for this offense, and they paid for it. Because we saw the Texans not be prepared for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers put up 42 points as well, the exact same thing. So I really do think that this game, and I really want to praise the Patriots here. I was very impressed with what I saw. They have a lot of good momentum right now. I really do think this game said more about the Texans. Because
I do agree with that.
We saw Matt Schaub play his worst game I think I've ever seen. No,
I don't know about that. You remember some early years, kid? Come on, man.
Okay. Let's calm down there. Fine. When the Texans did figure out Brady, now granted at this point it was already 28-0, but I was tweeting this. I mean, they forced him to 4 3-and-outs in a row. Like
that happens though. Like Phil saying, it just happens to them.
Fair enough.
Hold on. Y'all go ahead and keep talking. I'll be right back.
I think
do it the whole game.
I think that the Texans weren't prepared, and that's why it was an annihilation. I think the Patriots really deserve some round of applause because not any team can put up a performance like they did. And I hate to be a dick here, but is Markeem back?
No, he's not back.
Okay, because I want him to hear it. So when he gets back, I'll say the quote I was about to say. But I really do think that I see the Patriots. If the Patriots play the Bengals in the first round of the playoffs, I think it will be another massacre. Like, I think Brady will put 40 points on them. And the Bengals are a really good team. So notice, I'm no longer saying the Patriots can't beat good teams. I am now saying that if a team has an answer for them and the team is good enough, they probably can win. And not every good team has an answer for the Patriots. That's what like I said, the Packers probably wouldn't have an answer for the Patriots. Brady would probably beat the Packers. Brady would probably beat the Falcons. So notice, he beat the Texans. He will probably beat the Colts. Just notice that I'm giving the Patriots more credit than I ever have. But I am saying that I think a team like the Steelers would have the answer. I think a team like the Ravens, and they've shown this, the Ravens would have an answer. I think a team like, if the Broncos have an answer, I don't think that game's close. I think the Broncos win by like 10, 12 points. Because I think Peyton Manning will drop 35 on that defense the next time they play them. But I just think this time, if the Broncos don't have an answer for them, however, I think the Patriots will win, 35-33. Kind of like a lot of their close games in the mid 2000s, where the Colts defense just didn't have an answer for Brady. I mean, and I really do think. Here, Markeem, are you there? All right, now I want to say my quote. I'm not trying to discredit the Patriots here, but Chad fucking Henne put up 40 points on this Texans defense. That's all I'm gonna say. And I really do think, and I told this to someone yesterday, I really do think Brian Cushing being hurt. Now, obviously, I don't think they would have won because
that shit is more obvious than ever right now. Like, oh my god!
Because Brian Cushing wouldn't let Aaron Hernandez or Wes Welker get away with some of the shit they got away with, especially Aaron Hernandez. Like that little screen route right by the end zone where like no linebacker got there fast enough to get to him. I promise you, Brian Cushing wouldn't have let that happen. Like, I really do think him not being here hurt them big time. I'm not saying they can't win without him, but I'm saying a team like the Patriots especially would abuse the fact that he's not on the field. And I think that really hurt them this year. But even with
Tom Brady with them underneath routes, shit, man.
But I really do think, and I really do believe this, that I do think that everyone is also overreacting to the Texans' performance. They played bad, without question. But the fact that people,
I can't agree with that, kid.
no, I'm sorry. The fact that teams are completely writing them off for the rest of the season.
Right.
I tried telling. Do you guys remember how bad the T.J. Yates Texans looked the last 2 weeks of the season last year, where they lost to the fucking Titans? They looked terrible. Everyone thought that these guys won't last. Then they kill the Bengals, and then realistically they only lost by a touchdown to the Ravens, and that's with Jacoby Jones fumbling the ball on the 1 yard line and T.J. Yates throwing 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter.
And then that last drive, he almost got in the end zone.
Yes. Like, this was a team that was like, you know how I say a lot of people left the Ravens-Patriots game thinking the Ravens were the better team? A lot of people left the Ravens-Texans game saying the Texans could have gotten it done. That's why I said if Matt Schaub was on that team last year, they would have won the Super Bowl. I will say Matt Schaub has proven himself in the playoffs, but Gary Kubiak has proven himself to be a playoff-worthy coach. Because I think a lot of teams in the playoff get a little more. This is definitely Marvin Lewis's problem. Marvin Lewis, when he gets to the playoff, gets 10 times more conservative than he normally is during the regular season, and that causes him to
always got to diss my boy. Always got to diss my boy.
Oh my God, fuck Marvin Lewis. But I do think that Gary Kubiak doesn't change that much. Gary Kubiak sticks with what works, and I do think in the regular season, I really do believe that. Especially, I mean, I look at the playoffs right now. Like right now, Patriots are second seed, Broncos are third, Colts and Baltimore are fourth. I really do think that the Texans beat the Ravens or the Colts in the first round. Do you guys remember after the Texans got embarrassed by the Packers, they dropped 50 on the Ravens? Ray Lewis was gone, but still they put up 50 fucking points against the Ravens. Like
the first game, not to interrupt, I'm just saying. But the first game back, the first game you lost your heart and soul of your team.
That is also true.
I understand what you're saying, the 50, I get it, but I'm saying like they were not in that game at all. Like
fair enough. I have faith that the Texans will learn from this. I really do think if Brady comes back, not saying the Texans would win, but I do think if Brady comes back, they'll be more prepared this time.
You mean Brady? If Brady faces the Texans,
yes. I mean, Markeem, you weren't here, but I did my whole spiel, and I told Phil if the Patriots play the Bengals.
I'm shocked y'all ain't trying to kill each other right now.
I'm letting them talk. I got a few things I want to say, but I want to.
I told Phil if the Patriots play the Bengals, I don't think the Bengals defense will have an answer for Brady, and I think Brady will drop 40 on them. Like
I totally agree. That should be ugly. That should be grandma getting out the tub ugly right there. Oh my God.
But I do think, and I also told Phil, I think the Steelers would have an answer for him. I think the Ravens would have an answer.
I don't agree with that.
I think the Ravens definitely will have an answer for him.
Man, the Steelers didn't have an answer for Tebow. Don't throw the Steelers at me. Don't ever throw the Steelers at me ever again. I don't trust these niggas at all.
Fine. I'll throw the Ravens. And I really do think the Broncos will be better prepared next time. And either way, as long as you have Peyton Manning. Remember, Peyton Manning during those games was throwing like 2-3 interceptions in the first quarter. Like, I do think that you put the Broncos against this team one-on-one. Because I do think the Broncos defense, as good as the Patriots defense is playing, the Broncos defense is better by a decent margin, I would say. They're not much better, but I agree with that. Noticeable. And their offense, at the end of the day, it's Peyton versus Brady. Right? So the Patriots have been playing great, but I still don't see them going to the Super Bowl this year. I still don't see them winning the AFC because I still don't think, push come to shove, they beat the Broncos or the Ravens. Or
push come to shove.
I mean, the Ravens, look at the last 3 games between the Ravens and the Patriots. They beat them in the playoffs a few years ago. They lost this past year, but a lot of people thought it was a game they choked, and they beat them just a few weeks in the regular season. Like, the Ravens have this team's number. And my biggest problem with the Patriots.
I wouldn't go that. I would say they kill each other. I wouldn't say one has each other's number.
Phil. What I'm trying to say here is the Patriots' offense is still very much the same. They can run the ball now, but their route patterns are still very much the same. And
same as what?
Same as what it's
Last
been the
season
past
has
3
always
years.
been
Like it's been no,
underneath routes, short passes, quick shot down.
No, I wouldn't say the last 3 years, but
like, it's just saying like it's been proven. It's been proven that like if they once a team has an answer for them, and I mean fuck man, I don't care what you say about division opponents. I don't see how you could see the Patriots against the way they looked against the fucking Jets and the way they looked against the Dolphins. I can't say how the media can look at this team and say, without question, they're winning the Super Bowl. That's what I saw someone say yesterday. Without question, they're winning the Super Bowl.
No, I don't even agree with that. I mean,
hey, kid, they're a different team now.
but and I was gonna kind of say that I hate it about Denver, because that's why I don't like saying that. But when you say it about Denver, to be honest, I'll say this about both teams actually. The Ravens Patriots matchup, I think would be totally different than Week 3. I'm not saying either team blows out order. I'm not saying that. I still think it's close. Every time we play the Ravens, it's close regardless. But if Ray Lewis is in that game, it's different for that reason. But or Suggs for that reason too. But I think that I don't think that game's going to be the same. But I'll agree.
Or Webb. I think without any of them three, I think Patriots win kind of easily. So.
I also don't think Denver. I think Baltimore just hasn't. Like, what have they done recently?
Well, they've had a hard schedule.
Yeah, but hard schedule. You got to. I'm sorry. I know the Redskins are good. You got to beat the Redskins. I mean, you got to. I mean,
hey, come on, man.
I know it's your boy.
Don't be disrespectful.
But anyways, that's not all right. But anyways, what I'm saying is to me, I really think the race is between the Patriots and Denver to win the Super Bowl. To go to the Super Bowl as far as NFC. Anyways, but I'm saying as far as AFC, and I think, and as far as Houston, I'll even say that Houston is completely done. I don't think that. I think that it all depends on how they bounce back. Can they bounce back and if they were to sweep, Marquine, don't kill me. But if they were to sweep the Colts, that's a statement. I think. And going towards the playoffs, if they keep that number 1 seed, that's a statement. And it's regardless of how that game went, it's gonna be different in Houston. I mean, it will be. I mean, it's as much as home field is not all that crazy, but if they have to go to New England in the playoffs. I think we win. It's just a lot. I don't even worry about it.
I'm saying, if the Patriots go to Houston and do what they did on Monday to Houston, them niggas the best team of all time, son.
And keep in mind that another thing I forgot to mention, no Gronkowski. So we just did that. We did that with no Gronk, who I'd say is arguably our second best player. I think
that's a little overplayed because basically. Gronkowski's no doubt. Gronkowski's a great player, but Aaron Hernandez is also as Stephen A. Smith will say, Aaron Hernandez is a bad dude.
That's my point. Hernandez was hurt for the beginning of the whole, a lot of the beginning of the games of the year. So what I'm saying is,
Phil saying wait today together.
Yeah, together. And Stephen A. said that. I think Stephen A. or Skip or one of them said it. I remember watching it. That's the point. The fact that they're not both on the field at the same time. Okay, you cover Hernandez. Well, guess what? Gronk's open. Well, you cover Gronk. Well, guess what? Hernandez open. If you somehow cover both, guess what? Wes Welker's open. I mean, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about.
But I just want to finish very quickly that props to the Patriots. And like I said, it's no longer that they can't be good teams. It's that will good teams have an answer for them. And if they don't, then they better hope they have a guy like Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, or Aaron Rodgers at the helm to help outscore them. If they do have an answer for them, then realistically, there's no reason to not beat them. And I do think people are counting out the Texans. I really do think that in the playoffs, the Texans are going to be like that team that everyone turns their back on because they think, oh, these fools get embarrassed on Monday night. They don't have it. I really do think they'll learn from this.
And Sunday night. Keep that in mind.
Yes.
My boy Aaron Rodgers went off on him.
I think they'll learn from this. I really do believe that in my heart of hearts.
And Aaron Rodgers went off on them in Texas. So, let's not forget that.
Oh, that's right. That's a good point.
I think the Texans will recover from this. And
that's fine.
And basically, if the Patriots have to play the Bears, the Seahawks, the Giants, or the Niners, I think all 4 of those teams, like last year going into the Super Bowl,
Whoa,
not
whoa.
trying to be.
I know you're not about to. No, whoa.
Okay, fine.
I know you don't think the Bears can beat the Patriots. Come on, kid. That's.
Yo, if you say that, I'm done.
I'm done. Exactly.
Fine. Shh, come on.
You were about to say the Bears
Hey.
could beat.
Can I finish? Fuck. I think that. What was I gonna say? Fuck. Like last year going into the Super Bowl, there really wasn't a doubt in my mind. Like I was telling my friends, the Giants have them figured out. They're done. Like it's simple. Like I really wasn't doubting it.
I ain't lie. I was kind of the same way. So I feel I was kind of
like even during the game when the Patriots were like winning, I'm like, it doesn't matter. They'll get the ball back. Eli will organize a fourth quarter drive. I mean, it's just
I felt the same way.
Well, I mean, but that's kind of to me that's two different things. Saying the Giants will have their
I remember
or whatever you said. Like
the Patriots.
No, I'm saying the Giants are gonna like they have their or what was the word you said? Not have their number. That's obvious. But I'm saying like the whatever you said. But I'm saying that's different than saying. I mean, them coming up winning in the last minute. It's not like. You know that keeps them in the game. Yes, I understand that, but like, I can't.
I got you. But look,
you know what I'm saying? Like, just by winning in the 2 minutes, that you like doesn't prove the point that you thought the Giants were going to win.
Fair enough.
Like, to me,
fair enough. And if the Seahawks, they clearly have an answer for them, and they have a quarterback that can throw deep enough and they have receivers definitely fast enough to burn that defense to fucking make an impact, as we saw. The Giants have an answer. The Bears. That's a different story. I do think they'll be more. I mean, people saw what Kaepernick did to these guys and just immediately like writing them off. Kaepernick puts up 32. Brady's fucking putting up 40. Aaron Rodgers only put up 23 against the Bears the first time, and I think you'll see Aaron Rodgers struggle this weekend against them. But I'm not going to make my case until I see the Packers play Aaron Rodgers again. But that leads me to this week. I'm picking the Patriots to win this week. Yes, me. I'm picking them to win.
Yo.
I'm not even gonna lie. My lips are like wide open. My mouth's wide open. Never saw that coming.
I really do think the Patriots. I think Jim Harbaugh is gonna have an answer.
Don't be disrespectful.
I think he's gonna restrict Brady, but I also think the way the Patriots, the way the Patriots D line's playing, I think Kaepernick is not going to be able to get away with a lot what he's been able to get away with against the Rams or against the Dolphins. I think the Patriots, they won't let shit like that happen. Like we saw Tebow try to pull off some shit, and the Patriots just like no. And Kaepernick can't throw, but like I said, I mean, I just don't think they have the way the Patriots' man coverage has been playing. I don't think they have talented enough receivers to be able to completely burn them. That bum Randy Moss. I'm kidding.
Hey, I'll kill you.
I just think, I think Randy Moss and Crabtree, Vernon Davis, different story, but I think those two aren't gonna be as open as people think they will. And Gore, I think Gore's been struggling a little lately, not just against the Dolphins, but against other teams. I think he's gonna find problems. I think the Patriots are gonna win. But if this team does meet in the Super Bowl, there will be no doubt in my mind that the Niners will win that game. I think that Jim Harbaugh will not.
Why'd you say that?
Because I think Jim Harbaugh will not let a team beat him twice like that. I really do think
that's true. That's the baddest coach, well, second baddest coach in the game.
Like I saw this man against the Dolphins, and just like it's just amazing the little things that he controls, and I really do think that if you beat Harbaugh, I really do think he's gonna make sure that doesn't happen. I think if he doesn't figure out the Patriots and the Patriots drop 40 on them, hey, that's fine, and I'll come here and say they're the best team in the NFL. But I do think if they play again, Harbaugh will have an answer for them. So if the Patriots put up 40 this weekend, and everyone will probably overreact and go insane, saying, "Oh my God, this is like the 07 team. Look what they're doing to the best defense in the NFL." You could say that because they've earned that right. But I think if they play again, Harbaugh will have an answer for them the second time. And I think and then when the Patriots don't put up 40-plus points, I think Kaepernick or Smith or whoever will be at the helm will be talented enough to put up more than 20, which is what it's going to take to beat the Patriots.
I'm glad you said that, kid. Real quick, I just want to throw this jab at trademark. Now,
that's 3 in a row.
Now, this is what I hope happens. I hope Alex Smith never gets to start again in San Francisco, so he can go somewhere else. And that Alex Smith is pretty good compliment. Now he's trying to change it and shit. Oh, he's good with Harbaugh. That's what I was saying, fool. But that whole Alex Smith is pretty good comment he made will look like the most asinine comment ever made in life. Just wanted to say that real quick. Y'all go ahead.
And that, like I said, Patriots, really good team. Can they beat above 500 teams? Of course. And they will annihilate them if they don't have an answer for them. But I'm still not, like last night's game doesn't make me all of a sudden change everything I've ever said about the Patriots. I still feel the same way about a lot of them. And I think Houston, maybe this game will be good for them. Maybe you all will discredit them like I did last year in the playoffs. And maybe they'll get more respect. And maybe with their backs against the wall like they were last year with fucking TJ Yates as quarterback, they'll impress the NFL again. Because I'm not going to be like Skip Bayless. I'm not just going to go now, okay, the Broncos are winning the Super Bowl. No. I'm sticking with the team I've been saying for almost 2 years because I trust them. And even though my brain tells me that Peyton Manning, because Peyton Manning, I told this to my friend on Facebook, Peyton Manning is never going to put up a performance like Schaub did on Monday. Like, whenever Peyton's playing, That's true. Exactly what you're getting. And, because now it's going to be on Schaub. If Schaub plays well, there's no reason in my mind why this team can't go to the Super Bowl. And I'm sticking with that. I'm not going to run away from my prediction for the past 2 years.
I can't fault that. I can't fault that at all.
And that is everything I've had to say about the New England Patriots.
All right, well, I have 2 more things to say based on what you said. With the Niners thing, I don't think I'm basing this off of the whole thing you said. If New England puts up 40 against the Niners, I'll not take anything away from your boy Hakeem, but he can't make. And I'm saying if the Niners don't, I don't know what I mean. I'm saying let's say the Niners up less than 20. You can't just make your team put up 40. It's not going to change. That's not going to you can probably I agree. You maybe can find some ways to stop the Patriots from scoring 40. But I just don't think that the Niners would be able to score enough to beat the Patriots.
But know this. If the Niners do. Like, if it's obvious that the Niners do have an answer for Brady and Moss is able to outrun the defenders like Sidney Rice did and get open, that's a different story. But I don't think that's going to happen.
But Moss won't play in that game.
Why?
Because he's going to be too worried he's going to be thinking the whole time, man, I wish I was back in New England.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up. It doesn't matter.
He's saying he wish he could come back, and we didn't want him, so.
Like, if you guys saw First Take on Friday, I think it was Christian, whatever his name is, the former Patriot.
Fourier, I can't pronounce.
Like he said, he basically said in his analysis Monday night, it all depends if the Texans have what it's done to limit the Patriots' passing routes, and he said, I think they do have what it takes to stop them, but it just turns out they didn't. But once you do stop them, if a team can stop the Patriots like that, and it's not that hard because we've seen many teams do it, then I don't think this team has enough on either side of the ball to win.
But here's the thing I wanted to say about that. That was the second thing I wanted to say. It's easy to say, well, if this team does this, if this team perfectly stops Brady and is able, because here's the thing too, they not only have to hold Brady, they also have to be able to score. Because the Dolphins, they had an answer for Brady. I'll admit that they did, but they didn't have an answer on offense. They couldn't click, they couldn't do anything on offense. So you have to do both in the same game, and that's hard. I'm not saying that no team can do it.
That's why. I'm just saying, you have the Broncos.
Anyways, what I'm saying is to say, well, this team can do it.
They're a different team now.
Right. But what I'm trying to say is, like, and Bear said this several times during his little run or whatever, is if this team can find a way to stop Brady, can do this, if teams can do this, it's just easy to me. That's easy to say that for any team. Well, if this team does this, then yeah, of course they can stop.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to make it. I don't want to make it sound like
if this team
can stop Brady and score, they'll win. Well, fuck, regardless. Obviously. But
right. That's what it's kind of sounding like a little.
There's more of a science to it. I kind of explained it a little earlier. It's just.
Right, I know you're not trying to say that, but I'm saying it can come off that way because let's face it. It's easy to say that. Like, okay, the Niners do this, they win.
If you pressure him enough, because can cover middle down the field better and prevent the outside routes, then yes. But keep in mind,
same thing was said that people said that the Texans could do that, and guess what? They didn't. So that's my point.
We should have known from the Packers game that they wouldn't be able to.
Right. Y'all should have, but I'm just saying, like, as far as, well, I'm not saying y'all because Markeem didn't pick the Texans, but I'm saying as far as people that thought the Texans could stop them and do what everyone says is the mold to beat the Patriots. What I'm saying is, you can say that, you can say they can do it, you can say they don't, but when they don't do it, I mean, you got to prove, like, okay, it's clear that, you know, they couldn't do it. The
Texans couldn't do it.
You got to be
what I think what Phil is saying is that he wished that they would just give his team credit. As you said, right?
Right,
that's what it boils down to.
Right.
Like you feel like you guys are disrespected, and I feel you. I totally agree.
I mean, because it's like, really, I mean, and Big Rat, I'm not taking anything. I mean, I understand. Just because, I mean, I don't expect Big Rat to automatically think the Patriots should be a Super Bowl. He shouldn't. I mean, he should still, you know, he shouldn't just bail on the Texans because they got creamed. I mean, I don't think that. Like, I mean, I think that when it comes down to it, like Markeem said, I think that it's still, like, a lot of people are still saying, like, even Big Rat, even you yourself said this. You said said more about the Texans than the Patriots. Yet everyone has been asking, including a lot of us, including myself, and everybody has been wanting a full game on both sides of the Patriots, and they get that, and it's all about the Texans not doing what they should have done. That's where my problem. Like, is that going to keep happening? Like, you know, and as far as the Niners game next week or Sunday, I mean, as far as that game, you know, to be honest, and I said this before the podcast, and this is kind of out of the way or whatever, but it's still in the same context. You know, I said, you know, maybe because even though I don't agree that, you know, the Patriots have done this a lot in a row, but I'm saying sometimes the Patriots do have they lose some games early in the season, and then they just kill teams. Not kill teams, but they have some close games, but they have a lot more impressive run going into the playoffs. But they haven't had a bad game in so long that eventually it catches up to them. So I mean, so part of me is like, you know, maybe we need a bad game. Like, part of me does want a bad game. Do I want us to lose? No, I want us to win every game. I mean,
if you guys lose this week and the Broncos win, then those Broncos are winning they're getting the number 2 seed for sure, because their schedule the rest of the season's a fucking joke.
Well, yeah, if they win and we lose, right? But because I mean, that's one game, and like I said, the Broncos probably won't lose again unless, you know, they don't care in week 17 or something like that. But I mean, like I'm saying, like I think that's something I did want to bring up in the same aspect of what I was talking about. I just think that, you know, that could be the case. I don't want to, you know, it's hard to find out that way because you don't want them to lose to the Niners and then still not get it done. So, I mean, I'm not saying that I don't want them to lose to the Niners, but I'm saying if that's what it has been the problem, is because they just, you know, when you have your bad game, they just pick the wrong time to have their bad game. You know, then I, you know, would much rather take, like I said before with the 2017 team, you know, I don't want them not going to the Super Bowl. But, I mean, if I could have picked losing a game in the regular season and then winning the Super Bowl, I would have done it in a heartbeat. That kind of, if that makes sense, what I'm trying to say.
Very quickly, because I do want to say something else about the results of last week. But I do want to say very quickly, I mean, we'll do the predictions later. Wink, wink, for those that understand that. Markeem, since I kind of brought it up, I mean, you've heard me and Phil. Just say very quickly, Patriots or Niners this weekend?
I got the Niners, man. You know, they in a candlestick, right?
Yep.
No, they say New England.
Oh, really?
Oh, well, either way, I stick the Niners. I just think that you know, John, I got me doing it. Jim Harbaugh having them ready, and I think that Kaepernick gives them another dimension they really need against the Patriots. And he's a threat to do a lot of things that sorry ass Alex Smith just cannot. So.
And I will say there's
trademark. So yeah,
there's more things I want to say about the game. Markeem just reminded me. I'll say them real quick. I will say there's 2 things about the Niners, not even about my Patriots. If Kaepernick does start in that game, this is kind of 2 things in one. But and the Niners do beat us, I don't even care what fashion. I mean, I guess outside of like a last minute win, but regardless, it's still, if they beat us, Kaepernick should not lose the starting of the rest of the year, regardless what happens. I honestly believe that. I think that would officially prove that he deserves it for the rest of the season, and the playoffs included. And if they do win, I think as much as I've kind of drawn back about the Niners because I don't like how, even though it's a division game, I don't like how they've let the Rams have their number. And as much as I've said about that, I will say that the Niners would be huge favorites after beating if they beat the Patriots, decisively. I'm not talking about like a blowout. I'm just talking about decisive. Like they were clearly the winners in that game. I think that's like I will come on the show and say the Niners are back to being a legit threat. I mean, you can't argue that.
And I saw someone on Football Outsiders said this last week. He said, like, everyone says the Patriots are the best team in the NFL now, and he says if the Niners win this weekend, people are going to say the Niners are the best team in the NFL now. And he's like, there can't be a different best team in the NFL every fucking week. And I agree with him. That's why I've stuck with the Texans the whole year. But he has said, a lot of us in the first week of the season said the Niners were the best team in the NFL. And maybe it's just that simple. He said, like,
hey, y'all, breaking news. A little unrelated. The Super Smash Brothers and the DDT for this shit. All right, go ahead.
They're the tag champions. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, but they just officially announced. Like, they might have did like a #1 contender tournament. Who knows?
Awesome. Okay. So they, my point is, like he said, maybe it's just that simple. He said instead of every week us changing who's the best team in the NFL, maybe the team that since day one has proven to us to be top 3, maybe they're just the best. And he said this weekend, people are going to start to say that after this weekend, you'll have people like be saying, oh, they've shown it all year. The Niners are the best team in the NFL. I want to talk about this, though. You guys don't have to say anything if you don't want to, but I can't hold this in anymore. Like, I legitimately was almost in tears, yelling at the top of my lungs in the shower yesterday, the more I thought about it, and that's the Miami Dolphins. And I need a place to vent. I need this so bad right now.
Go ahead, kid.
Okay.
I'm already up now. Might as well stay.
What the Miami fucking Dolphins did on Sunday is everything that the Miami Dolphins do. It was everything that they have done for years and years and years now. Let me tell you about this game.
Hey, well, they lost?
Yeah, they lost.
Not just that.
Oh, shit, man.
It's not just that they lost, thank you. If y'all don't know, at halftime, because I know a lot of you guys that really don't watch the Dolphins, but this is fact. A lot of people, I would say like 98% of fans that watch the NFL don't watch the Dolphins. Like, it's a large portion of people that just look at the final score and draw their own conclusions. The Dolphins, this weekend, a lot of people said we got murdered. And it's clear that they didn't watch the game. The score of the game was 6-3 at halftime. Marcus Thigpen, one of the best kick returners in the NFL this season, has run back 2 kicks and it gets great. I think he's second or third in the NFL in yards off a kickoff. Great kick returner. Fumbles the ball on the 1-yard line on a fair catch punt, and that's how the Niners got their first touchdown. Jacoby Jones stopped. The Niners are up 13-6. Or they were up 13-6 and this made it 26. I forget. I know they scored 2 touchdowns. They were up 26. It was the start of the fourth quarter. The Dolphins were driving down with Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill was completing good drives. It's 4th and 5 on the 5-yard line in the red zone. We're down 20-6. Like, Philbin knows better. Philbin knows that he has to score a touchdown here. Getting a field goal doesn't do anything. You're still down by 9 points. There's only 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You don't have enough time to get the ball back twice and stop it. There's 9 minutes left. It's 20-6. Ryan Tannehill throws a fucking fade route to Anthony Fasano. Not Rob Gronkowski, Anthony Fasano. This play never works. Ever. I've seen the Dolphins utilize it for years. Fasano has been trying to utilize it for years. They do not have a physical enough and elusive enough of a tight end or an athletic, I think it's the word. It's not as an athletic tight end to pull this off. And Tannehill never places the ball properly. Moore couldn't place the ball properly. Henry couldn't place. No Dolphins quarterback tight end has ever successfully completed the fade route. Like in 5 years, I'm watching this play.
It's like McMichael, right?
What?
It's like McMichael, right?
Yes, since Randy fucking McMichael. So I'm watching Ryan Tannehill throw this, and I'm like, okay, the game's over. It's 20-6. We'll lose. It's cool. I can accept that. Anthony Fasano catches that fucking ball barely by like an inch, gets his knee in bounds as he falls down, and it's a touchdown. And it's 20-13. and I'm yelling. I'm like blown away. I'm like, I can't believe we actually just concluded this pass. They get the ball back. We force a 3 and out. We get the ball back. Tannehill throws 7 of 8 incompletions. 7 of 8 incompletions. They get the ball back.
Damn.
There's 4 minutes left on the clock. They get the ball back. They're winning 20-13. They're just trying to run out the clock. Kaepernick runs a screen to the outside. Dansby trips and misses the tackle. And Kaepernick breaks free and scores a 50-yard touchdown when they're just trying to run out the clock. Final score, 27-13. This is a typical Dolphins fucking loss where they play head-to-head with one of the best teams in football, look competitive, look good, do everything they need to do to win the game, give you a false sense of hope, and not only do they still not win, they fuck up in such a way to make the game look like it wasn't even close. So they're contentious the whole game, respectable, and not only do they not get the win, they don't get the respect from anybody in the NFL who looked at the final score. This is the fucking Dolphins in a nutshell. My temperament level with this team is very low. This is why in week 3, I wrote in all caps after Dan Carpenter missed a fucking 48-yard field goal, and then Philbin tries to ice the kicker against the fucking Jets, and we still block the kick and they get a re-kick. After that game where I said being a Dolphins fan is the worst thing in the NFL, and if you think otherwise, you're a fucking idiot. Because it's not just that we lose. It's the way that we lose. The amount of false hope instilled in every game and still not finishing this and finishing the season. It's not like if we finish the season 5-11. No. It's 7-9, right below 500, making you think that you're almost there. You're almost at the playoff level. Give it a year or two and you'll be there. And I heard that 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I heard that last year. And now I'm hearing it again this year. This is the Dolphins. And there's only so much I could take. Having us lose to the Jets like that, losing to the Cardinals in overtime, losing to the Patriots the way we did, losing to the Patriots. We limit Tom Brady the whole game, and they win the fucking game because they run the clock out for 7 straight minutes against one of the best run defenses in the NFL. Only the Dolphins. Only the Dolphins can limit Tom Brady and not being able to stop the run when they're one of the best run teams in the NFL. Only the fucking Dolphins can lose that way. I've lost too many games like this where I can barely like keep my mental sanity. And do you guys know what's going to happen? We're going to beat the Jaguars this week. Next week we're going to beat the Bills. And against the Patriots in Foxborough, it's going to be close.
When they got to play for.
No, we probably will have something to play for.
Now,
yeah, we're probably going to have something to play for now.
But some fucked up shit is going to happen, and the Dolphins are going to lose, and they're going to finish 7-9 again. And then, then I don't know what I'm going to do. And I like Tannehill. I like Philbin. I like our team. This is one of the better Dolphins teams I've seen in a long time, including the 2008 playoff team. Like, this team is looking better and better. We just had a rough stretch of the schedule. We had to play Seahawks, Patriots, and Niners back to back to back. Let me repeat that. Seahawks and the 2 teams that are favored to go to the Super Bowl this year. Back to back to back. You beat one, and you become competitive against the other 2, but you don't do enough to win. And everyone laughs at you for losing by 14 points. It's the lack of respect that this team gets. And if we were like the Jaguars, fine, we don't deserve respect. But we're not like the Jaguars. We're not losing by 20 points every game. That's why it's just so rough to be a Dolphins fan. And I love this team. This team is my passion. We're still in the playoff race by some fucking grace of miracle. But my heart can only take so much. I will never leave the Dolphins, ever. I will never leave the Dolphins. But just know, if this team finishes 9-7 again this year, I don't care if, new coach, new quarterback. Oh, you guys are
7-9.
Yeah.
7-9, yeah.
If we finish 7-9, I don't care what people say. New coach, new quarterback. Oh, you guys were 6-10 last year. This is progress. Oh, you guys pushed the reset button at the start of the season, and you won a game more than you did last year. If this team goes 7-9 again, I will consider it another typical Dolphins season. There's a very, 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 very horrible, very sad, like I almost wanted to cry article from Omar Kelly. This is rough. This is some really, really, really rough shit. Here, look, let me read it to you. Actually, I have it right here. It's called "For Miami Dolphins." It's a very short article. I'll read it on the air. For Miami Dolphins, it's a failed season. We don't make excuses for any other position on the field. Jonathan Martin had a defense performance blocking the NFL's best quarterback hunter, Aldon Smith, but Aldon Smith still had 2 sacks, and one of them came on the Dolphins' last offensive possession. Failure. Jonathan Freeney made a mistake downing a punt that should have been trapped San Francisco offense inside its 5-yard line, but instead he fucking stepped on the goal line and made it a touchback. Failure. Marcus Digpen fumbled a punt, which led to the 49ers' first touchdown in Sunday's game. Failure. Carlos Dansby produced his 4th 100-tackle season, but he was consistent making plays all game. But 49ers quarterback Kaepernick broke containment on a fourth-quarter run and sprinted 50 yards for a touchdown, with Dansby and the rest of the Dolphins defense eating the dust. Failure. The Dolphins defense forced a 3-and-out that gift-wrapped the offense to football at Miami's 38-yard line with 5 minutes left, down by 7 points. Brian Hartline gets an end zone pass deflected. Tannehill misses an open Devon Best. Matthews and Moore are unable to bring the balls down. And the Dolphins rookie QB throws 5 incomplete passes on that drive and goes 1 for 7 on the final 2 possessions. Failure.
Shit.
Like this is R.J. Stanford hasn't played the nickel spot in a real NFL game, but he's on the field and needs to do his job better than Jimmy Wilson. Sean Smith struggles in red zone coverage. Trustnick doesn't have experience as Miami's outside linebacker. Reggie Bush should not be getting steamrolled by pass rushers. We don't accept excuses for failure at any level of football, but when it comes to the promising quarterback, the protection isn't good enough. The running game puts him in difficult down distances. The receivers aren't getting open. Offensive coordinator Mike Sherman's play calling isn't creative enough, and he's holding Tannehill back. Those are all acceptable reasons the Dolphins are failing on offense 2012, right? Failure.
It's true. I mean, one thing I did want to say, some things you were saying. I think that like you said, I mean, people don't watch the Dolphins if they don't think that they're up. I think they just have to. We talked about this before the show. I think they have to make the correct just to get to where they need to do. I mean, they have to. They're better than the Jets and the Cardinals, and they lost the overtime games against. I'm not trying to bring it back because I know that was probably brutal for you. But they lost to the Bills. It's games like that they know they can win those games. I mean, they destroyed the Raiders. I mean, it's stuff like that. They've been good teams. They've beaten the Bengals. They've beaten Seattle. I mean, they've proven that they can do this. They just need to consistently to do it and not lose to these teams that they shouldn't be losing to, which is, and I know that the Patriots also lost to the Cardinals, but I'm talking about just the Dolphins, those 2 overtime games, Jets and the Cardinals. And I think, like I said, I honestly think if they can get some more weapons offense, I think they'll be a better team. I think they need some help on defense too, as far as cornerbacks and stuff like that. But I think they're there. I hope that I don't think they give up on them after 1 year, but I hope that they stick with Taylor because I really have liked what I've seen with him.
If by the way, here's I forgot, this is the last quote from the season. Andrew Luck, RG3, Russell Wilson, and Colin Kaepernick are biting in their first season as starters. The list got even bigger as Nick Foles and Kirk Cousins, 2 rookie quarterbacks, added their names to the clutch quarterback list. The Dolphins have been in 7 fourth-quarter games, 7 games that have come down to the last few plays in the fourth quarter and haven't been able to execute. The Dolphins aren't good enough, and if you make excuses for them, you're not giving them the full credit. Don't make excuses. Hold everyone to the same standard. Failure at critical moments is failure at critical moments. This is the Dolphins, like I said, we're promising, blah, blah, blah. And people have said, oh, you're the 3rd youngest team in the NFL, and that is true. Oh, you have so many draft picks this year with the Vontae Davis trade and all this, and that is true. But this team has failed the past few years in using these draft picks effectively to create a stable enough roster. Cameron Wake came from the CFL, for crying out loud. Reggie Bush, we got in free agency. Brian Hartline was drafted like in 05 or 06. He's been in the league for a long time. Like the past few years, this 7-9 stretch, we have not, aside from like Mike Pouncey, we have not accurately drafted someone that has truly made this team 10 times better than it was before. And that's why, excuse me for not having faith, even if it is a new coach, because the general manager is still the same. And really, right now, like Randy Starks, drafted in 2004. Paul Soliak, drafted in 2007. I've just had a lot right now. I guess there's no other way for me to say this. I've had a lot. I've gone through a lot with this team. And I just need some place to yell about that. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, you have the platform, and that's, I mean, you all basis. I mean, you said this wrong. I mean, I think I will say this: being a fellow AFC's fan, of being a Patriots and seeing more than Dolphins than probably everybody else. I mean, outside of Dolphins fans, I do think that the Dolphins. Think that next year, if they need to make the playoffs next year, and I know that's hard because there's every year get more and more teams get better. But I think they need to be more in the hunt next year. And I know scheduling and that stuff comes into effect. If they don't, then it's just it's same old Dolphins. Like, I know you watch the Dolphins a whole lot more. I'm saying and I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying I think give you still have to give them that next year with the rookie quarterback and the the new coach and all that. Let it again. I think if they're able to go. I know you don't want another 7-9 season, but if they're able to go 7-9, or even somehow pull out an 8-8, then next year if they can finish a 10-6 or something like that, that would be huge for the Dolphins, I think.
Yeah, and for those that it's possible, and I know, and as far as the playoff race goes, this is what needs to happen.
Still alive, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Hey, no, but look, it's actually when I tell you what needs to happen, there's only one game where you guys will probably say, okay, that's not happening, and that's. The Bengals have to lose to the Eagles this week. And I know probably all three of us are not picking the Bengals. I mean, if the Bengals win, we're not out. It's just harder. But the Steelers...
Hey, I bet no one said the Bucs for losing to the Eagles, so...
Yeah. The Steelers have to lose to the Cowboys.
Oh, I'm so excited about that, too, Phil. I'm so happy.
I'm excited because I'm like, ha, y'all lost to the Eagles.
Shut up.
We're going to make it right now.
The Steelers lost to the Cowboys. Need to lose to the Cowboys. That can happen. Then next week, the Steelers and Bengals play each other. And if the Steelers win, they need to lose to the Browns the next week. Or if the Bengals win, they need to lose to the Ravens next week. And the Ravens, they play the Broncos this week and the Giants the week after. So if the Ravens don't start pulling up wins, they're going to need that win to clinch the division. So... That's like I said, Bengals lose to Eagles or Steelers lose to Cowboys. Whoever wins this week has to lose next week, and whoever wins next week has to lose the week after. And the Dolphins have to win out. And the Jets can't fucking go 9-7.
Yeah, they can't.
So, yeah, I'm sorry if I took up a lot of time. I know that we're up much later than we wanted to be, but I felt I really needed to get that off my chest. All right. So then we continue with our next topic, the top 5 draft picks in 2013 of next year. It's a very interesting year. It's not like last year where everyone knew well in advance, okay, Andrew Luck and RG3 are going to be 1 and 2. This year's a little more interesting. The line's not as clear, but if we were right now to draw the 5 worst teams in the NFL, who would they pick in their top 5 picks? Let's all assume, because they have a tough schedule for the rest of the season. I'm going to say right now the Kansas City Chiefs, because they have to play next week. They play the Colts, and the week after that they play the Broncos. So pretty good chance that they don't win too many more. The Kansas City Chiefs, number 1 overall, on the clock. Marquine, who do they draft? Who should they draft?
They need all the help they can get. So I don't think it really matters, but they will draft Geno Smith. But, it doesn't really matter.
How do you think he'll do?
His first year, he'll be terrible. He'll be absolutely terrible. He will not be accustomed to the speed of the NFL.
And do you think he'll get better with the Chiefs? Or is his only hope to go somewhere else?
I think, here's the thing. I think, who's the offensive coordinator there right now?
I'll tell you right now. Hold on. Here, hold on. I have it because I had their page opened. All right. Their offensive coordinator is fuck. I just lost it. head coaches. Their offensive coordinator. Is it Todd Haley? No. That's their previous coach.
No.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm getting.
If he was there, then that'd be the perfect pick.
You're a Todd Haley fan?
As in terms of him teaching offense, teaching quarterbacks, yeah, definitely.
All right, here. I got it now. The Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator is. Oh, I don't know why I didn't know this. It's the Dolphins offensive coordinator last year, Brian Dabble.
Oh well, they gotta get someone in there that can teach the quarterback. Sorry, kid.
Dabble, offensive coordinator for the Browns for a few years, I think. Such fine quarterback class to come out of that franchise.
Yeah, just amazing. I can't think of one that lasted for like more than 3 seasons. But Bernie Kosar, you gotta go back to Bernie Kosar in the 80s.
No, you.
But I believe that if he does, he's a smart kid. He watches a lot of film. I think he'll probably end up having to teach himself. I think before it's all said and done, he will be an average NFL, at least an average NFL quarterback. Because he got an NFL body. I mean, he can move a little bit. A lot of people don't even know that. He can move a little bit. You know, he's accurate, but I just don't think he'll be used to the speed of the game. He got an arm, too.
All right.
His delivery's a little weird, too. You got to tweak that, but...
Okay. Next would be... wait, Phil, do you have any contributions to this?
I don't see how Geno Smith can help the Chiefs. So
do you think they should draft someone else?
I don't know as far as the top prospects. I'm kind of looking at them right now, but I mean, for me, I would.
Do you go after Monte? Do you go after Jarvis Jones?
That's what I would say. I was really leaning towards. I mean, I can't think of their linebackers off the top of my head, which is why I was going Jarvis because I can't. I mean, you got to build somewhere. I say like the defensive prospects are usually really good in the first round, especially that high up. Obviously, number 1 overall, taking Jarvis. I don't know about all that, but
I wouldn't mind it. That dude is a monster.
But yeah, I mean, I think you need to take I say you have to take a defense and just take a guy that. I mean, I don't know how Marquine could probably tell you this better, but I mean, I don't know how much depth there's going to be as far as quarterback, but I feel like I don't know. It just seems like.
I can tell you quickly, Phil. Matt Barkley, Geno Smith, and after that, there's really no one really worth talking about.
Really?
Logan,
is that bad?
Yeah.
Logan Thomas.
Shut up. Well then,
here it's there's Tyler.
The Chiefs need to take. All right, that settles it. Then the Chiefs need to take a top defensive player and move on to next year's draft when they're in top 5 again. I just don't think Geno's that good enough to be risking your franchise on that.
But the question, I'm a little undecided on this one because it is number 1 overall, but just because Geno Smith might not be like an Andrew Luck, RG3, Russell Wilson, immediately help turn around the franchise.
Now, I think he's better than Russell Wilson. I think Pete Carroll is a great coach. It's not taking anything away from Russell Wilson, but I think he's more equipped for the NFL than Russell Wilson.
Do you think Russell Wilson now is getting too much hype?
I mean, I wouldn't go that far because he is playing well. Despite his size, despite everything against him, he is playing well. I don't want to say all that, but I'll say that Pete Carroll has a lot to do with his success. I'll say that.
Well, basically, just my question is, just because the quarterback, at least in your opinion, isn't talented enough to automatically turn the franchise around by yourself, does that mean you don't do it? Does that mean you pick a defensive player who, in the past few years, defensive linemen and linebackers in the first few picks have been pretty reliable, but you're still without a quarterback, and how far do you really get? That's the way I see it.
That's true, but look at the Jaguars who took Blaine Gabbert in the same place. You know what I'm saying? They took him because that was the quarterback that was left. No, I'm just saying that was the quarterback that was left. And he's got a point. He's got a point. I don't think they knew that. I mean, they made that maybe if they thought something else, but I really don't think the Jags thought that was their future playing Gabbert.
They haven't done anything to help him though. To be fair,
well, that's true. But that's my point. Those quarterbacks are going to go to those teams like that. They're not. Let's just face it. Geno Smith's not an Andrew Luck or a RG3 that's just going to make your team
not a doubt.
Much. Andrew Luck didn't need weapons because he was going to make them. You know what I'm saying? So like, is Geno going to be able to do that? If not, why do you? I
think Phil's saying that they're better off. They're better off sticking with a Matt Castle who would probably deliver the same amount of production with that talent around him.
Right.
Which I don't agree with, but I can understand.
Right.
Geno Smith right now is better than Matt Castle.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say I think Geno Smith gives them, a better chance to win. But like I said, first overall, I just think it's too high for him. That's just me. I'll admit I haven't seen enough of Geno Smith, but I've seen enough to where I would take him overall number one. I just think that there's.
Let's put it like this. The NFL is different now. And like a lot of rookie quarterbacks are getting more opportunities to be thrown out there and play. And I promise you, if they just throw Geno Smith out there, you're right, Phil. He'll do terrible. But if this was like, let's say like 5-6 years ago, like an Aaron Rodgers type deal, I can see it being possible. You know what I mean? But it won't happen like that because it's the Chiefs. So.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the thing nowadays. Like nowadays, quarterbacks. I mean, let's just talk about it for a second. I mean, top quarterbacks. If you're not like Andrew Luck and RG3 are exceptions. I mean, Matt Ryan and Joe Flacco have had success right away too, but they've had to go through struggles because of that. Like quarterbacks are just
not Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, I hate the guy. He came in and was producing.
Well, no, that's what I said. Him and Flacco did that. I mean, Flacco
with Flacco,
not so much Flacco, but
with guys like Flacco and Matt Ryan and Ben Roethlisberger. Because I heard this a lot when I said about Andrew Luck he's on track to having the greatest rookie season of all time. And people are saying like, oh, but there's Sanchez, Flacco, and Roethlisberger got their teams deep in the playoffs.
Oh, Sanchez. Who brought up Sanchez?
No, but they don't think he had the greatest rookie season. They're just using that to counter the claim that getting your team in the playoffs doesn't necessarily qualify you as already having the best rookie season ever. And I was saying, but with guys like Sanchez, with Flacco, with Roethlisberger, those guys had tremendous defenses and tremendous running games where they can get them far enough to where the quarterback can learn along the way and eventually become good in their own right, like Roethlisberger and Flacco did. And Pete Carroll said this about Russell Wilson. He said the reason he started Russell Wilson, he saw him in practice, he realized that Russell Wilson was special, but he didn't want to throw him out in the woods yet because he didn't think he'd do very well. So he told Russell, okay, look, we have a tremendous running back in Marshawn Lynch, who is not getting nearly enough credit that he deserves for the Seahawks season. And we have a great defense with some of the best cornerbacks in the game that are really underrated, a great defensive line. You will be protected. If you screw up, it will be okay because we have a good enough defense and a good enough running game to make up for it. That game against the Packers, that really controversial game, people don't realize he played a bad game. Like, look at his numbers. They weren't very good. But he learned along the way with the tools that were given to him, and he developed faster than Flacco and Roethlisberger did. But nowadays, there's not going to be many teams like this. With a Geno Smith, with a Matt Barkley, with even a Logan Thomas, they're going to grab that motherfucker and throw him, and you got to make the best of it.
Well, right. Look at like I said, there's a handful that have been being able to be successful. Then you look at the Jimmy Clausens or when Brady Quinn first started.
Yep.
Those guys that just got thrown to the wolves. I mean, and
Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah, and Gabbert. Like I just butchered his name.
The only thing, like I just feel like this because I've seen a lot of Geno Smith.
Well, right. Like I said, Marquise. Right.
And I don't want to just throw him under the bus. It's just the thing that I think will be the hardest thing for him, and I hate to say it, but it's the most important thing. It's just the speed of the game. Like, I feel like if they pick him number one overall, the first half of the season, people will be saying, this is the worst rookie quarterback we've ever seen. and in the second half of the season, he'll get better. I just think that he won't have enough time to actually, if they do pick him number one overall, that might be the best thing anyone could do for his career. Because he might end up there, stick it up, 2 years later, they go with something else, him end up somewhere else, and him making them pay for it. Seriously. So, I hope he does go number one overall. I hope he does. Hope it happens. And him and Matt Barkley. I hope him and Matt Barkley get taken as high as possible.
Next we got Number two.
Wait, hold on.
All right, sorry, continue.
Go ahead.
Another thing I want to say is just like, because it just made me think of this when he said it. Like, how many quarterbacks number one have been able to come out there and just straight up succeed? I mean, Stafford, took his team to the playoffs last year, but
it's Stafford's first year. He struggled.
Right. Bradford can't stay healthy. When he's healthy, he's a good quarterback, but I mean, he has no weapons outside of.
Phil, I can give you the exact number. Let's see. Cam Newton.
Well, even him. I mean, they didn't go straight into. I mean, they still had a 6-something season.
He did. I mean, you mean win? Oh, hardly any. I mean, that hardly never happens.
That's why Andrew Luck. That's why Andrew Luck's case is so special.
Right. That's
like he's like the only guy I can probably think of. Yeah, because he's the only rookie ever to have a number one draft pick, a number one taken overall quarterback to have a winning season. He's the only one to ever do it.
Really?
Yeah. I remember I saw that stat. The first ever number one overall quarterback to have a winning season.
With guys like
3-13.
Right. Yeah. That kind of just clicked in me when I was looking over the first overall picks. But I mean, like what I was talking about with Cam is the second year. I'm talking like, by the second year, if they're not up there, you got to start wondering if number one was too high. Is what I'm saying. Like
Cam is still doing pretty well. People are getting on my nerves.
I know. But there's just when the quarterback position, there's so much pressure. Like I said.
I think the thing. Let me touch on this. I think the thing with Cam is that people had these weird expectations for the Panthers, like for them to be like,
right. Which is why I even went to a Panthers game this year, because I basically won a bet, so I got to go to that game. Because he thought my friend thought the Panthers were going to win the division. He's like, well, you want to go to the Panthers game since it's obviously not going to win. So I mean,
it's kind of the curse that Cam came in and kind of took the lead by storm, because people expect him to just like be unguardable, this unstoppable force of nature. And don't think that I'm being crazy here. I think he had a great rookie season, but I also think people overlook a lot of things of that rookie season too. He threw a lot. Like, they had two great running backs and they never ran. Like, you think D'Angelo Williams and
great is a strong word.
They used to be a productive running back combination.
Right, and they should still be decent. So, but the fact that they just like literally got Cam and they're like, here, dude, throw. Like, I mean, Big. I mean, I don't know the comparison, so as far as the stats, but like Andrew Luck has to throw all the time.
Yeah. Motherfucker throws 60 times a game.
I don't know how much Cam threw, but I'm pretty sure he threw a lot. Like
Reggie Wayne has been targeted 162
right.
times.
Yeah, I mean, y'all brought that up.
162 times?
That's pretty insane.
When I saw that this morning, I damn near just like fell over. I was standing in the line trying to get a bagel, and I damn near dropped my coffee. It was crazy.
That's 14 attempts a game.
RG3 don't even throw that many passes.
Yes.
He doesn't have to.
I was joking. I was joking, Phil. He obviously throws more than 14 times a game.
No. He throws 20. He completes like 14.
When you have a great rookie running back, you can do that.
Hey, Alfred Morris, like I've been saying it for weeks, that dude, I'm sorry, that dude, maybe give RG3 55% of the credit, but Alfred Morris deserves a hell of a lot. Seeing as how the ball's in his hands more times than it is in RG3's hands.
But yeah, I mean, we can get to the second pick now.
Yeah. Next up, with the second pick in the draft, unless the Jaguars pull off the miraculous miracle, upsetting the terrible New England Patriots next week.
Oh, terrible! You throw a jab in. Okay, all right.
But I don't mean terrible as in bad team. I mean terrible like you guys are the heels. You guys are the heels. You're the bad guys.
That's true.
Okay, the Jaguars, second pick overall. Who should they get, Markeem?
Let's see. There's so many problems.
Defense.
For one. So I guess. What's the exact problems on D though?
Here. I'll tell you exactly, because I've read some articles on the Jaguars this week because we play them this week. They actually have a very underrated linebacker core. They actually have a decent amount.
I know that they got the Hawaiian dude. What's his name? Kana or something like that.
But their secondary is just beyond awful. Like no cornerbacks, no safeties.
I can't even think of any corners or safeties I would take that.
And they also could use some help on the line offensively. Jones Drew.
Well, get one of those boys from Alabama and get what's his name? Either one of those tackles from Alabama. They both gonna go pretty high. So one of them.
I think. So can we all agree that they're probably not going to get another quarterback?
If they do that,
I think they'll stay with Gabbard.
They're worse. They're worse.
Gabbard.
They're more of an idiot than the Chiefs if they take the quarterback second.
Chad Henne, motherfuckers.
Who did really good the last game against the Texans.
I'm waiting for him to fuck up.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the Dolphins, Big Rat. Maybe he just couldn't do anything for the Dolphins.
Yeah, he couldn't do anything in Michigan either, but you know.
Listen, Chad. Look, he played a great game against the Texans. Then he beat the Titans. You know, I'll give him credit, but motherfucker still sucks. And motherfucker,
he is Alex Smith. He is the equivalent of Alex Smith, trademark.
And plus, the Jags aren't going to get a quarterback because they're going to trade for Tim Tebow.
I want to see that.
Where he don't
be shocked.
The first
don't be
place.
shocked though.
Where he should have played in the first place. But
I would watch Jaguars games all the time to see that. Not just because of Tebow, just to see the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like if he gets them to a 5-11 season, they should like pop champagne.
Yes, I would agree with that. I would even agree with that. Y'all know how I feel about Tebow Mania. I would even agree with that.
I think you can get them to 5 wins easily.
In that division, playing the Texans and Colts twice a season.
And they almost beat the Texans. I mean, 5 is not that far away. They should have gotten 3.
Whatever, Phil. They'll get their 3. They'll get their 3 next weekend. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see.
All right. Number 3 overall. Number 3 overall is going to be the Cardinals probably.
They need a quarterback, so this would be Matt Barkley or Geno Smith, one of those two.
And how do you think Matt Barkley would do with the Cardinals?
With that offensive line, absolutely. I think Geno Smith would be better here than he would be in Kansas City. But I think with that offensive line, Matt Barkley against the blitz, I mean, that's why he's not the no doubt number 1 pick anymore, because he's been exposed. People see he can't handle the blitz. And with that offensive line, shit.
And actually, the third overall pick is going to be the Oakland Raiders.
No, but I'm going under the assumption that the Cardinals won't win another game, and the Raiders play the Chiefs this weekend. I think there's a pretty safe bet that the Raiders. I think there's a good chance the Raiders win one more game, and after the way the Cardinals have been looking, I mean, I'm almost dead set they're going 4-12.
Oh, wow! What a collapse! Is that like the worst collapse in history?
It's got to be up there.
Like, all right, and I'm not just saying. I'm just saying, just for retrospective, because it you know. Anyways, if the Patriots won the Super Bowl, can you imagine losing to a top 5 draft pick? Like, can you say that the Super Bowl champion lost to? Like, how insane would that be?
I can say
that's happened before.
The Dolphins.
To a top 5 pick?
The Dolphins.
Yeah, that's a division game, though. That don't count.
Oh, of course.
And another example was I think the Broncos in '98. Then they lost a pretty bad team. That's the greatest team of all time, in my opinion. Sorry.
I think they also. No, they lost the next year on opening. They were the last team to be the defending champions to lose the first game.
Oh, okay, all right.
But that was
and
also
someone else I'm thinking of.
That was also the year that Elway retired. So it's not.
Steelers probably lost to like everybody because the year after they win the Super Bowl, they just decided not to play. So
what about the Packers went 10-6 and won the Super Bowl? What about the Giants too? The Giants 9-7. I can't imagine they didn't lose to any bad team in that stretch.
They lost to the Redskins twice, and they were a top 5 pick. I know they traded for it, but still.
Well, they traded for it, but I'm saying like bad enough to be a top 5 pick though.
I'm sure.
What was the year the Packers won the Super Bowl?
The Packers 2 years. The Packers.
10?
I know the Packers.
Or not year, the season.
The Packers lost to the Dolphins that year.
Yeah, Dolphins and Redskins in overtime. And they lost to the Lions. Were the Lions relevant then?
I'm not sure. But look,
that's when they were a year away, and I was telling people they were a year away.
Who do you think is the most year away team right now?
No, the Lions were 3-2.
Wait, no, I want to know. Who do you think is the most year away team right now?
Year away
from
team?
from being like in the playoffs or being like a Super Bowl contender?
Playoffs.
Playoffs? The Bucks, yeah.
The Bucks.
Without question, the Bucks.
See, I can love the Bucks.
Or I
didn't even hesitate. I thought of the Bucks.
Another one is the Rams.
Yep.
If they can stay healthy, they just haven't been able to do that.
All right, so yeah, the Matt Barkley would have to. But do you think Larry Fitz, if he's still there, which at this point
he won't be there.
I mean, if I were him, I would want the fucking.
I almost guarantee that.
If by some miracle he's still there, I think that's who he would want them to take. Matt Barkley or Geno Smith, the best quarterback available right there.
Okay. So next up would be the Raiders with the 4th pick overall.
Who cares? The Raiders. Al Davis will call from heaven and say draft as fast as a guy.
Al Davis is dead.
I know. Did you hear what I said? Call from heaven.
Oh, sorry. Markeem?
But Darren McFadden's always hurt. So, surprisingly, I would say go with a running back. Seriously.
Marcus Lattimore.
No. God. If he goes in the first round, that'd be the biggest mistake anyone can make. I hate to say it. I love the guy.
No, I agree. Can't take it. You can't do that.
That'd be a huge. And even with that being said, as great as I think he was in college, you know what I mean? I'm not even sure he is a first. Like, just if he was 100% healthy, I'm not sure he's a first-round pick as a running back. Seriously.
I guess it depends on who he's like, who else is there.
But. Here. Let him finish.
Go
well, he's projected 3rd round now, right?
Yeah. He's number 6 projected. You know who? The guy that just 2 days ago said he was entering into the draft. How about Eddie Lacy?
Eddie, I don't know. He's powerful. He can't really change direction that well. He reminds me of Brandon Jacobs if he was tough. So, I mean, I don't know if I take him that high.
Or the other one's Giovanni Bernard, Andre Ellington.
That dude can ball. That dude can ball too.
You know what? Of all these teams, which I don't. Knowing how drafts go, and I know they're not going to, like, the odds of this happening. Well, I don't know. It could still happen. Matt Barkley to the Raiders. Matt Barkley.
Carson Palmer has been pretty good, man.
That's what. Okay, well, I was drawing a complete blank. I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to sound like it. I couldn't remember the Raiders quarterback.
Hey, his QB rating's 85 right now.
Yeah, Carson Palmer is playing good. I forgot. I don't follow the Raiders.
Do you?
But I mean, you could draft Matt Barkley right behind Carson. I mean,
well, yeah, that could work.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, what one? I mean, I don't think
that'd actually be the best for like we were talking about. Give Barkley time to learn from a fellow
from a USC guy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That's a smart move, but I'm pretty sure.
I think if anybody's going to go that high on Barkley, like top 5, I'd be like, you know what, Raiders. And actually,
yeah,
of course, the whole fan base would
the Cardinals might have the pick before them, and that's been if you ask any casual fan in the NFL which team right now needs a quarterback the most, I guarantee you, like 95% will say the Cardinals because that's been the story all year.
Yeah, I mean they just put Cobb in IR, and then
But truth be told, the number 1 pick, the Chiefs, they should trade that pick.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been waiting for that number 1 team to do that because you benefit more. You get a whole lot more for your future if you know you're not going to win next season, and then there's not an Andrew Luck type guy out there. Like, why not do that? You get like a 1st round pick next year, and then You know, I don't, you get a lot of picks.
The last time it happened, what? The Giants and the Chargers.
The Chargers when Eli was crying because he didn't want to play in San Diego.
That was Archie mainly. I don't want my boy to be there. They're not very good.
Well, whatever.
That was mainly Archie. And Archie tried to pull the same shit with the Colts, so that didn't shock.
Fucking, what's his name? Matt Leinart. Matt Leinart said.
Leinart.
It was the year after the Saints had like the hurricane disaster and they went 3-13. He said, "I'm not fucking going there. Like, don't draft me."
Yeah.
This was when Reggie was projected to go 1 overall, and he said.
And the only relevant thing in football he's done since is the Heisman commercial that came out a couple weeks ago. It's the only relevant thing he's done in football since.
Were you shocked when Leinart went 10 overall?
No, because I actually thought he'd go higher than that. Boy, you talk about somebody being wrong about a player. I said he would be an amazing game manager. Boy, was I wrong. I thought he'd be doing what Alex Smith is doing right now.
And what'd you think about Vinny Young?
Vince Young, I knew he was going to suck.
What? I thought Vince Young was going to be awesome.
Really?
I don't know why people say that.
You know, Phil, I'm really starting to think you didn't watch college football, man. Really starting to think that. Not until I came along. You thought Vince Young was going to be awesome, Phil?
He's not the only one.
He only won 8 straight games for the Tennessee Titans. And he just didn't have it mentally. He didn't.
He was Tebow before. I want y'all to look at his numbers during them games. Pretty
I know because I remember because I brought it up because a lot of people totally dismiss Vince Young when they talk about Tim Tebow. So I agree with you. I understand that, but I did think he was going to be good. I did.
I can't believe it.
All right.
But I didn't think Rickman, and I didn't think Jimmy Clausen, and I didn't think Matt Leinart, which I was right about all three.
Who was the third one?
What?
Who was the first one?
I think
Jimmy Clausen, Brady Quinn, and Matt Leinart.
Okay.
Well, I believe that Brady Quinn just didn't have NFL talent at all. Jimmy Clausen is a talented motherfucker. He just had 2 bad, just horrible. He had to come into a horrible Notre Dame team, and then when he was great, nobody even noticed because they were so bad. like on offense, it was dropping like 30 points a game, and then the defense would give up like damn near 40. So it really didn't matter. Like he was actually really good his last 2 years at Notre Dame, and then he came and had to play for Carolina. I mean, the boy just had horrible luck. And Matt Leinart, I was totally off on. I ain't got no defense there. Just totally off. Because Jimmy Clausen was getting looked at when he was like in 8th grade. He was really talented, man. Really talented. He was like Chris Leak, except with an arm. Remember Chris Leak?
Won a national title game. If anyone remembers that.
Yeah, but he ain't have no arm. Like
he's got to play with Florida, right?
Yeah. The thing that people were impressed with Chris Leak is that he was so smart to be so young. I mean, like he understood. Like he had like a Peyton Manning type mind, and he was young as shit. That's why he was able to grasp Urban Meyer's like option attack like quickly, and he can't even really run. So think about that.
Hey, he's in arena football now.
Yeah, who's next? We didn't got all off that.
The fifth one, I'll go ahead and say the Eagles, especially after their loss today.
Offensive line. Anything
Jockle?
offensive line.
Jockle from A&M. Luke Jockle.
Yeah, Joker.
Hey, the offensive line played pretty fucking great today.
Yeah, but the dead clock is right twice a day.
but the dead clock was right against the number 1 sack team in the NFL. Like, Foles got so much time to throw. It was amazing.
Okay, and Tim Tebow threw for 350 yards against the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL.
Things happen.
Penalties were a problem for them today, but yeah, Jockle, I would agree. I think that's their. Yeah. Okay, so we got our top 5 is Geno's.
Yeah, did y'all hear what he said when he won the Best Offensive Lineman award at the College Football Awards?
What did he say?
Mm-hmm. He killed me. He was like, so how is it, blocking for someone as dynamic as Johnny Manziel? He was like, well, it's hard because half the time you have no idea where he is. So. I thought that was hilarious.
That is pretty fun.
So we got number 1 overall, Geno Smith. Number 2, did we say Jarvis Jones?
Pending trade.
Pending trade. I think
Smith or Jones. Smith or Jones at number 1.
All right, Geno Smith, Jarvis Jones, Matt Barkley. I guess Eddie Lacy or a running back for the Raiders.
A running back.
And 5th overall, Jocko.
No. Raiders do not need a running back.
You don't get more than like 5 games out of McFadden.
Yeah. McFadden's always hurt.
Yeah, but a running back's not going to save the Raiders. I mean, they need more. They need, to be honest, they need a wide receiver more than they need a running back.
They have decent receivers. They just don't, they can't play defense. That's why people drop 50 points on them.
Well, they need to take defense then.
I mean, but there is no defensive player besides Jarvis Jones I would take in the top 5.
Well, Teo.
That's a waste of not in the top 5. That's a waste of a pick.
Fine, okay, but for
Jones is more well-rounded. See, people. Teo is a great college football player. I really do think he's going to be a really good NFL player. Skip Bayless said something crazy like he's going to be the next Ray Lewis. That's crazy. But Jones is a more well-rounded player. That's why people are looking at him more in the top 5. Like for as many interceptions and big plays as Teo has, Jones plays more all-around defense than Teo. They kind of tell Teo to go out there and, hey, do your thing. You know what I mean? Right. Meanwhile, Jones is like playing actual NFL-type zone defense and, different blitz packages. He's doing like NFL-type things. Meanwhile, they just tell Teo to go out there and just kind of make shit happen.
Right, what I said, but don't get me wrong. I would obviously take Jarvis Jones over him. I'm just saying, I think you got to buff up the defense if you're the Raiders. I don't think running back's where you need to worry about. Yeah,
but it's not like they're not going to draft defensive players. Like just
another thing that both have to realize: this is still the draft. Like it's still the draft. If you draft well, that doesn't mean you're going to be good the next season. Ask the Chiefs about that over and over again.
Unless you're Bill Belichick.
Hey, fucking Hey, and someone made a good point that I think someone said Alfred. When you look at a guy like Alfred Morris, how can you justify taking a running back in the top 5? And it makes sense.
Yeah, he went in the 6th round, right?
Yeah, 6, yeah.
Well, you're right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's
but the depth in corner. There's no standout cornerback to be drafted in the top 10, and the depth in cornerback is still pretty consistent. That's the argument. The argument is when a top 5 guy is there, you take him. Like last year, they asked Omar Kelly, if he's there, should the Dolphins draft Trent Richardson? And Omar Kelly was, fuck yes. And they're like, why? We have Reggie and Daniel Thomas. And he was like, when you have a top 5 talent like that available, it doesn't matter what position you already have on the field. You grab that.
Well, that's true. But
we did think that about Reggie Bush. And so, I mean, he's doing well now, but for most of his career, he's been,
Hey. Respect the Hall of Fame. I'm kidding.
Whoa.
I'm kidding.
Whoa.
I'm kidding.
College football. Well, never mind. No, because
he
doesn't count.
He didn't play in the college football.
Did they take? They didn't take away their national championship, right?
Yes, they did.
Oh, they took it away. It's blank.
Yep.
Wow.
The asterisk. There's an asterisk beside it.
That's crazy.
Or it's gone.
All right.
The first one and the second one both gone.
Well, the first one wasn't really a first one.
Well, it's still gone.
Next, we go into the updated wild card race, our weekly segment. The NFC wild card is fucking crazy right now. The fact that there are 6 teams in contention for a playoff spot, that's just amazing. But we got Seahawks, Bears, Redskins, Cowboys, Vikings, and I'm gonna put in the 6-1 Rams. And then the Bucs at 6-7. I think they kind of have no chance right now. So Markeem, from what you saw from Seattle last week with their 58-0 victory, does that tell you that for sure they're gonna make the playoffs?
It was the Cardinals, man. That don't tell me nothing, but the Cardinals are horrible. That's what it tells me.
Cardinals are only 4-0 because they're replacing Riff.
No, that's not true. Like, Do people not realize
It was a joke. It's a joke, Mark. It's a joke.
Fuck, they beat the Patriots. The Patriots suck. All right, continue.
Shut your face. They did beat the Patriots. I can't deny that.
You have to live with that shame forever.
No, I can blame Stephen Kurkowski, but well, actually, would never should have had that shot. But anyway,
you only put up 12 points against the team that Russell Wilson just had 58.
Hey, are we really talking about this at the end of the season? We doing that?
Yeah, apparently.
All right, continue.
That's to be honest. Let me just say this real quick.
God.
To be honest, that's like the worst I've seen the Patriots play. So there you go.
Okay.
If you want me to give you that, you have it.
Markeem. The Seahawks, I saw a stat yesterday that kind of alarmed me by Football Outsiders, a website that I trust, that has the Seahawks ranked as the second most efficient team in the NFL and the second best chance to win the Super Bowl.
Wow. Hey, you know what though? That wouldn't shock me, man. They're pretty complete.
Yeah.
A pretty solid, quarterback, amazing running back. I mean, solid receivers, pretty good offensive line, good to great offensive line when they feel like they decide they want to block. Sometimes they act like they don't want to. One of the best defenses in the league, man. That's highly plausible.
I think this team is good, but I think everyone's kind of overhyping their quiet threat ability. This is the team this team lost to the Cardinals, the Rams, and the Dolphins. Like this is a team.
Hey,
what?
The Giants went 9-7 last year. It's not even a shot. It's not even a shot. This is being honest.
No. But this
what I was gonna say is, wait, Big Rat. Name an NFC team that has not got a questionable loss.
It's not about the questionable
Atlanta?
loss. Hold on, my point isn't fully explained.
Okay.
It's not that they've lost to bad teams. Everybody has. It's that this is a team 2 weeks ago where everyone was saying this is a team that could beat or lose to any team in the NFL and it won't surprise me. They were saying that.
Right.
And I still feel that way.
But you don't really say that about teams that have the best chance to win the Super Bowl.
But I think with Seattle is anybody unless Aaron Rodgers has decided to say shut up everybody. I think that anybody in the NFC can literally go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's like last year.
As much as I praised Atlanta, I got shot right back in the face when Cam Newton lit him up. But
don't forget on the record you're in the Super Bowl.
Do you still think they're better than the Niners, Phil?
Atlanta?
Yeah.
At home, yeah. If they can still be number one seed, if they don't have to travel anywhere, yeah, I do. I still think Atlanta's better.
Okay.
As crazy as it sounds, I still
Hey, they play the Giants this week. All right, like we'll see.
Yeah, but what Giants team are they going to get?
Exactly.
So that doesn't prove anything to me.
And that's my point. Like if the Giants are on, they can repeat. Yeah,
same thing with repeat. Right, I agree. That's why I was bringing up Aaron Rodgers.
They'll be the worst dynasty team ever if they do.
I agree with that.
I would agree 100%.
It wouldn't surprise me. Hey, if the Giants right now, the way the playoffs are set up, the Giants are playing the Seahawks in the first round. It's not crazy to think the winner of that game goes to the Super Bowl, but I don't know. I think people are. It's one thing to say the Seahawks are underrated, but I think so many people are saying it that it's almost like they're not underrated. It's almost like they're like.
I get what you're saying.
I get you. Yeah, I get
like it's a little too. And to be fair, Ben made this point because Ben's a Falcons fan, and he made a good point. And I admitted I was wrong. He was like, "How can the Falcons be overrated if everybody in the NFL thinks they're overrated? Like you can't be overrated if no one gives you credit." Like he's like, you ask anybody in the NFL who are the best teams in the NFC, they'll say the Niners, the Packers, the Giants, the Seahawks. They won't say the Falcons. So why are they overrated? And I was like,
I think it's just
fraudulent will be.
I think it's just the record that everybody sees the record and they're like, oh, they're overrated.
Yeah.
They're fraudulent. I'll say that.
By the way, since we're on the record, I want to get on the record and say that the Falcons. That I take back my words of what I said about the Falcons not being the worst 11 and whatever.
Well, now it's not 15-1. Now it's 14-2.
If they went out, yeah.
And they may be the worst 14-2 team
worst
ever.
14-2 team.
If they finish 14-2, I think I'd have to say worst sports team, unless like do something crazy and make me look like a genius in the playoffs. But no, yeah, they're pretty. Off the top of my head, I take back what I said. I don't take back. I still got them in the Super Bowl. I'm sticking to that for now.
But okay, so do we all think the Seahawks and Bears are going to wrap up this wild card spots, or do we think these other outside teams have a chance?
I think. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Martin.
No, go ahead, because you probably got more to say to me.
I mean, I think the Bears are done. I think the Bears are not. The Bears are the team that I hate. Trust me, I hate to say it because this is the team that I thought that talent-wise had the way to go to the Super Bowl. But they just lost Urlacher. I don't even know when he's going to come back. I think he probably will be back this week. I don't know if it's that, but I haven't really looked into it, to be honest, as far as Urlacher. But let's look at the end of their schedule. I mean, it's fairly easy. They got Green Bay, which I think is a loss right now, the way Green Bay's playing. But
then the Falcons.
I need them to beat the Packers.
But right, you need them to beat the Packers. But
then the Cardinals.
Yeah, because Markeem, if the Packers win this week and we beat the Patriots, beat the Niners, your worst fears is now in place.
I don't want them to get a bye week.
Right.
Dear God.
But then they have the Cardinals at Arizona, and then they're at Detroit, which Detroit is a division game, so it's you can't just automatically assume they beat Detroit. So I don't think the Bears lost to Minnesota, lost in overtime to Seattle last. I mean, the Bears just haven't, like, as much as I would love to say the Bears are still going to do something, I think the Redskins are on more of a run than they are. I don't know. I mean, I know there's different scenarios and you can play them out and all that, but I think that last spot, I know that I've done this already with the Steelers a couple weeks ago, taking them out and putting the Bengals in.
So you think the Bears are going to slip all the way out the playoffs?
I think the Bears miss the playoffs. I do.
That means
man.
That means they have to lose out. Because if they win a game, it's it's going to be so... Because the Cowboys and the Redskins play each other. And they're the two next teams in the wild card hunt. So if they win one more game, they'd all be tied at 9-7.
And that's bold. That's bold.
Hold on a second.
They play the Cardinals. The Cardinals!
If they lose to the Cardinals, I'm right with Phil, though. Right with Phil.
And that's why... I don't think that's far. I mean, I know the Cardinals are awful, but the Bears are just not impressing me right now. They're not. I mean, I know they lost close games to Minnesota and Seattle. Maybe I'm just jumping off too fast. I don't know, but I would not be. Let me just put it this way: I would not be shocked if the Bears lose out. Just the way I think there's other teams playing better. Let me put it that way. I think AP is just single-handedly running with Minnesota. What?
They're definitely playing bad right now. Have
been
for a few weeks.
And as much as I don't want to say this because I hate this team and I don't want Big Rat to be like, I told you. But Dallas, Dallas is playing.
Respect Dallas.
I'm not respecting them because they're going to play.
I will never respect Dallas because they're still going to fuck this up.
Yeah, Dallas ain't making the playoffs. I don't think that.
I think they have a better chance to make the playoffs than the Redskins do.
I think they have a better chance to make it than the Bears, but not the Redskins. I think the Redskins, it's in their hands, to be honest.
I think they have to beat the Cowboys. If they lose that game, the Cowboys jump them in the race.
Well, yeah, but I mean, is that this week or?
No, it's the last week of the season.
I want to see something, and I know I'm not trying to waste time here, but I want to look at the playoff now. I want to do you might have already done this, but
the Redskins play Cleveland and the Eagles. The Cowboys play the Steelers and the Saints, and then they play each other.
Now, see, okay, I just figured this out. It's right. If Chicago, Washington has the tiebreaker over Chicago, that's why. So Chicago just has to lose one more game. That's it.
And the Redskins have to win out.
Well, yeah, but I mean, right. So I mean, obviously the Redskins can't also lose. But I think who the Redskins had last?
They have the Browns, the Eagles, and the Cowboys. This team lost to the fucking Panthers. It's not completely unfathomable that they lose to a 5-8 Cleveland.
Right, I know.
And someone made a good point on ESPN. He's like, so I forget who said this. Someone said this because they said because RG3 is officially playing this week, and someone said,
really?
I think so, yeah.
Oh man, what is he thinking?
And someone said, okay, so RG3, like someone said, why this is a bad idea because they have Kirk Cousins back there who should be able to be good enough to beat the Browns, and he was like, if RG3's playing. He's not 100% at all, and even if he even if he doesn't get hurt, his productivity will be down from RG3 levels. Where, and then he says, and they will stay there the rest of the season because he won't be taking time off. So shouldn't they give him a week, put Cousins in, and then get him back to RG3 levels the last 2 games of the season when you're fighting for the playoffs?
Like Skip Bayless made the best point. He was like, he thinks as bad as that look, they should just close their eyes and just hope Kirk Cousins gets them through this game, and then after that put in RG3. Just give him a week to rest. And I've never seen anyone get bent the other direction and then come back the next week. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That's true. I totally forgot about that.
He has not missed a game yet, but we should note out this is the second time this season that RG3's suffered an injury where people wondered if he's going to play. I mean, is this going to be the thing with RG3? Are we not going to get a 16-game season out of him?
Nah, he won't be like Michael Vick. That won't.
Yeah, but
I don't think he'll be Vic bad, but because he runs, I mean, you still have to. That's still going to be a factor. I mean, with a rushing quarterback like that.
When he becomes a better pocket passer, that won't happen as much.
That's probably true. But anyways, getting back to what I was saying, I just think if they can get past the Browns, with or without Griffin, and Griffin can stay healthy enough, I like the Redskins over the Bears. I do.
Man, Phil, you just going out on a limb all night.
I have the Falcons in the Super Bowl still, and I'm sticking with it, so we'll see what happens.
Hey, wait, side note about the Falcons. I do think because they're getting, such little credit, I've never seen, we can all agree on this, I've never seen a number 1 team get so disregarded when talking about playoff predictions.
Oh, right. Well, the Chargers that year where they went 14-2 and no one took them seriously because of Mario Schottenheimer. That's probably another example of that.
I can see that.
I don't even think they were this bad, though.
It was pretty bad.
That was also the year that LT broke the rushing record.
I'm saying I don't remember people talking more about the fact that the Falcons are irrelevant being the number 1 seed versus I don't think the Chargers will talk that much.
I think they are getting such little credit that I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I still have it on my record, and I'm going to keep it on my record. Falcons won't win a playoff game, but I won't be surprised if it happens this year, just because no one, I really do think that bothers them, that no one is just giving them any credit whatsoever.
Which is why I think they'll make a run.
Okay, Phil.
I think both of y'all are smoking. It's the same. Seriously, this is the same. Minus them running as much, which will actually help you in the playoffs. But they just look like the same old Falcons. They've just been opportunistic this year, more so than they have been.
It is on my record. Matt Ryan will not win a playoff game. Just saying. If it does happen, it won't blow me away.
It would totally blow me away.
Just win 1 game?
Yeah,
no.
I'd be shocked.
Wow.
Remember, if they win a game, that puts them in the NFC Championship game. That puts them 1 game away from the Super Bowl.
Could you imagine the Falcons? Come on, man. That would shock me. That would totally shock me.
I mean, they'll get crushed by New England in the Super Bowl, but they'll go.
They will, too.
Y'all think they get crushed?
Not crushed, but I don't think they'll beat them.
I think the Pats will handle them, though.
That's what I kind of meant. I don't think we'll go 40-0 or anything.
Right now, I think if the Pats go to the Super Bowl,
y'all ain't crushing no NFC team. So stop that noise, Phil.
Oh, like the NFC, the SEC, or the NFL. All right.
Okay, you got the Niners this week. That's all I'm gonna say. And you got the if the Niners are right now, I'm looking at the NFC.
But
Niners, Seahawks, Bears. I mean, not Bears. Giants. Niners, Seahawks, Giants. I would all predict those 3 to beat you in the Super Bowl. Giants. I mean, fuck. How many times more do they have to do it? Seahawks already beat you guys this year. And you got the Niners, where even if you do beat them, you know what that defense is going to deliver come Super Bowl time with Harbaugh.
Wait, how many more times they got to do it?
Even I laughed at that. To be honest, if it's Giants, Patriots, I don't even know what to do. I won't even lie. I don't even know what to do.
If it's Giants,
turn it off, and then turn it on with 2 minutes left. I mean,
I would probably go with the Patriots though, because at some point they just gotta beat them. It's like 3 straight times. I couldn't imagine that.
It would be 4 straight times.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about like in the Super Bowl.
Oh, right.
That would be like the like people will say like, oh, a great Super Bowl rivalry. It's not a rivalry. But hey,
that's a lose. Well, that's not lose because Brady would get.
But I think we all should calm down. Now I'm not going to defend the Texans because, quite frankly, they don't deserve your guys' respect after the way they played. I'll let them earn it themselves in the playoffs. And I really do think, like, Denver's another one, not like Atlanta, but Denver's another one that I don't see a lot of people talking about for when it comes to going forward to the Super Bowl. Like,
they ain't beat nobody.
But they still, dude. They've won 8 in a row.
No, I mean, I'm not discrediting. I mean, I think the Broncos are going to be a threat.
But just like, do you know how bad? Do you know how bad they played against the Falcons and Texans and still only lost by a touchdown?
Almost won.
Peyton Manning threw 3 interceptions in the first fucking quarter.
Made me wonder about his health. They made me wonder about his health against the Falcons.
That Falcons game was
and he still almost won because they're that talented. Like, they've just been killing teams lately. Like, all their games haven't been close.
I think this isn't an ultimate test, but if Ray Lewis is starting this week, I think that's going to be the ultimate. This is going to be the ultimate test.
Yeah, we'll see. And
no, don't. Like I said, I think I was just using that as an example of why no one's talking about him.
But after seeing the Bengals game today, I will confirm if the Broncos get the second seed and it's Patriots Bengals in the first round of the playoffs, that will be a 40-point massacre. That will be a slaughter.
Poor law firm.
Appreciate that. That's the only time you're ever going to see me ever say that about any Patriots game ever.
Unless we get Houston at home again.
This team should have lost tonight. The Bengals. The Eagles got them to sack.
I don't want to talk about this game, kid.
All right, fine.
Can we just move on?
Yeah, we were like going all over the place.
Shut the fuck up.
Hold on. I didn't even talk about. I didn't even get to talk about who I think is going to make the playoffs.
Hey, go ahead, Marquis. Yeah, because we went off.
Who?
Go ahead.
I'm riding the Vikings train all the way until the wheels fall off. I'm on the back of Adrian Peterson right now. I believe this man is unstoppable, and I believe he'll run them right to the playoffs.
MVP.
Hey, they play the Rams, then they got to play the Texans. That's not easy. It's not easy.
I know that, but I think he can run on both. I really do. I know he can run on the Texans. It's been proven. Sorry, kid.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's cool.
I know that's your other team, but.
Okay.
And I think he'll get 2,000. I don't think he'll break the record though.
Yeah. I think he's definitely getting 2,000. Like. All right. I'm gonna.
What is the record?
2,100. Yeah, by Eric Dickerson. Eric Dickerson. All right. Our next topic: the quarterback draft class. The other guys, as I've titled this segment: Russell Wilson, Brandon Weeden, Nick Foles, Ryan Tannehill, Kirk Cousins. Maybe Russell Wilson. He's kind of like on the borderline between talked about quarterback and not talked about quarterback. But
let's leave him out then.
What?
Let's leave him out.
Fine. Weeden, Foles, Tannehill, and Cousins. The other guys. Has anyone been impressed? Noticed anything? Any thoughts? Phil, you first.
I'll say. You want Phil to go?
No,
first?
go ahead, Martin. Go ahead.
All right. I'll say this, man. As much as I talk shit about the Eagles, that's my team. I know it doesn't look like it, but Nick Foles has the body language and the mindset of a veteran. He just does not have the skill set for what they ask him to do.
I agree.
I mean, I think they need to build a better offense around him before we can say he's the answer there. But I think that he has the mind and the soul of a veteran NFL quarterback. He's just not. I thought that when they drafted him, I was like, that's actually a good pick. Because Michael Vick flex up. At least I thought we were talented enough for Foles, you know what I mean? But, he just, I feel like, he is wise beyond his years. I think that soon in this league, he'll be successful, sooner than people think. They just need a better team around him. Ryan Tannehill has intangibles I did not know he had. Like when he was in A&M, he was the worst second half player in all of sports. Fuck college football. I'm talking about sports. Where he'll have a half where he'll have almost record numbers. He'll have another half where he'll have almost record horrible numbers. I mean, he was the worst second half player in sports. That's why when the Dolphins, remember when the Dolphins drafted him, kid, I tweeted you, and I was like, mistake, big mistake. And you know what? For as bad as his numbers are, what he has, 12 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, something like that.
Yeah. But I saw a stat because the people bring that up a lot, that he has 15 interceptions, 12 touchdowns. When we're in the red zone, we run it. I think it's 78% of the time. So I don't look into it as much, but yes, it's like 12. It's like 12 and 15.
I have only seen, let's put it like this. I've never seen a game where he looked terrible, looked like he didn't know what he was doing out there. Like anytime he makes a mistake, it's the typical rookie shit. I mean, I see throws that he makes that, not many quarterbacks can make, period. So I think Tannehill will be fine. Dude, I can't believe I'm actually saying that. Because you would ask me that last year, I would have been like, why would anyone take Ryan Tannehill? But he showed me something, man. And he's been hit a lot too, and he's gotten up a lot. It's props to him. He's really good. Brandon Whedon, whatever. I really feel like whatever with him. See, I'm not even joking. Yes, I know he's had a few game-winning drives here and there, but there's a lot of times there's been holes that motherfucker has put them in. He's Derrick Rose of the NBA. because he plays it totally. It's not like Andrew Luck, where Andrew Luck, he throws a lot of picks because he has to make the big plays and all that shit. Brandon Whedon literally does dumb shit. He just does dumb shit. And at the end of the game, he plays extremely well, and it's kind of baffling. He's the Derrick Rose of football. But, I don't know how far that can get you, especially when it's a bad team. Because, for as bad as the Browns are getting, it's still not all that great. But, it's I feel like all these guys have upside, which is not something I could have said years ago, back how the NFL used to be, when most rookie quarterbacks you saw, you probably never see them again. But I feel like all these guys, from what I've seen, can have some form of success in the NFL.
And any thoughts on Kirk Cousins from what you've seen?
He was in Michigan State. He's a good player, but I just don't know where he would ever be able to get an opportunity in the NFL. He's a good player though. Like when the Redskins drafted him, I was a little shocked by that. But, he's a good player though. He's good.
Phil, any thoughts on the quarterbacks?
This is I think I just want to throw the stat out there first. Tannehill has 8 touchdowns and 12 interceptions.
Yeah,
everybody listening. But anyways, that's really just beside the point. I really like, and I know I've only really seen a full, probably 1 or 2 outside of the Patriots game, but I really like I really like what I saw in the Patriots game with Ryan Tannehill. I think if he had, I talked to Big Red of this. I actually said it earlier in the podcast. I think that Tannehill had, or earlier podcast, Ryan Tannehill, I think if he needs weapons. I think that's the thing that the Dolphins need to look at. They need, whether it's through free agency or draft or something, they need to just give him some more weapons. And also keep Hartline, stuff like that. But I like what I've seen from Tannehill. I liked his, the way that he just handled himself in the Patriots. I mean, that's a big game. I know it's in Miami, but it was still a big game for them. And I don't think he fought that fumble, but that one I wouldn't really consider that his fault. But and he didn't know thick in that game, did he? No, he didn't. But I think Tannehill did good from what I've seen. As far as the others, I liked what I've seen from Nick Foles. I think he could have potential there. It all depends on how they got to build around him as far as see what. I mean, they don't have to build. I mean, they got Macklin, Jackson. I don't know who all is going to be there next year, so we'll see what happens.
He shall not be named. Fuck Deshaun Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jackson's probably not going to be there, actually, but we'll see.
No, they re-signed him. He's going to be there.
Well, I heard something about they still would probably get rid of him, but I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, something about trading him, yeah. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
I think it might be Jack, unless I'm still thinking of Namdi. But anyways, He's got McCoy. So Nick Foles has got some stuff they can build around. It's just, it's big on coaching and losing Andy Reid. There's a guy that come in, want a new guy. Like, a lot of times that happens. You see it a lot. The head coach, it's like, this isn't my guy. I don't want him. I didn't draft him. John Fox. But, it's true. But, who was the other guy? Brandon Wheaton, I haven't really seen enough. I didn't see much of him. So he's kind of the same thing with me. Is like, whatever. And then Cousins, who cares? He played one game. I don't care.
Dude can play though. Don't disrespect that man like that.
I'm not dissing. I was just saying I don't care because, like you said, he's not going to get us. I mean, is he going to get a job? I mean, unless he starts this week and beats Washington. Unless he starts good against the Browns and becomes a Matt Flynn, but then Matt Flynn didn't get to do anything in Seattle because of Russell Wilson. So see that.
Hey, Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn. Yeah, because I remember someone mentioned this on ESPN where if the quarterback, because he says like everyone's saying how the quarterback class this year isn't that deep. Well, why doesn't some guy just try and go out and get Matt Flynn? Or it's a decent point. Matt Flynn, Kirk Cousins, Matt Moore, and I know you don't agree with this, Markeem, but I'm just saying it because that's what the media would say. Alex Smith. There's many quarterbacks that are sitting on the bench right now. Not even free agents. They're just sitting on the bench. They're not playing, and they want a job. And if there's so many teams struggling to find a quarterback, why don't they just look there?
Ryan Mallett.
Alex Smith. See, Phil, we'll talk more later about Ryan Mallett, but I'll be real. I'll say this real quick. I don't think he's y'all answer when Brady leaves.
Well, by the time Brady leaves, he won't. Yeah.
Well, by the time
even
after sitting behind him for like 6 years,
I just don't. I think
that's gonna be too long though.
I don't know, but Steve Young sat for a long time behind Joe Montana.
How long?
It was a while. Long. It was like 4 years, something like that. 4 or 5 years.
I'll look it up. Steve Young was drafted in '87, and Montana left like in '93.
It was a while.
Yeah, Montana left. Steve Young was drafted in '87 and started in '93. So 6 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a while. But yeah, Mallett, man, I just think physically he can't play in the NFL. People say Ryan Mallett had this big arm. Well, he was in Arkansas. Bobby Petrino said his arm wasn't that big. What changed? What he graduated, so his arm got stronger. I don't know, man. When I saw him, I think he's smart. I think he's a smart kid. I think he can make all the quick reads. I think it'd be perfect in a West Coast offense. And I don't think the Patriots have a West Coast offense per se. Even though they throw a lot of short passes and things like that.
Yeah, they don't.
It's not West Coast offense. Yeah, I think it would be better in straight up no huddle type deal. You know what I mean? And that's not what the Patriots do. They do a little bit of that, but it's not what he would. Yeah, right, no. Patriots fans would be so upset. Tom Brady, listen. If Ryan Mallett is y'all gonna be mad.
I just don't think he'll. I don't want to say he's not going to be relevant, but I just don't think.
Well, never mind. Hold on, I forgot. Bill Belichick. Never mind.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Take all that back.
But I'm saying by that point, I think we'll have somebody else.
Can we say this? If Ryan Mallett, if Ryan Mallett wins a Super Bowl, then I think me and Markeem will just be.
We're really gonna fuck with you, then, Phil.
Unless Ryan Mallett. You talking about Ryan Mallett?
Hey,
unless Ryan Mallett puts up great numbers.
If the year after Brady leaves, that nigga wins a Super Bowl, we really gonna mess with you.
Like right after.
Yo, Phil, let me tell you right now, though. You should want this to happen, because that means that you guys being contenders every year doesn't rely on Brady. It relies on Belichick. So
that's a good way to look at it.
You should want Ryan Mallett to have the talent to win a Super Bowl. It will hurt Brady's legacy, no doubt. But fuck, I would love to be Super Bowl contenders for an extra 10, 15 years.
That means it doesn't matter who's playing. We're always contenders, even though that's going to be negative towards your boy Brady, though.
Yeah, I don't.
Hey, but that also means
don't let me answer that. Don't make me answer that question right now.
But that will also mean that Belichick's the greatest coach of all time.
Yeah, I think if he does that, there's no question. Right now I have Walsh, but if he does some shit like that, only reason I got Walsh is Walsh changed the game. Like Walsh changed the game is played. He Michael Jordan the NFL. So yeah.
If he gets Brady his fourth, and then Ryan Mallett wins one, I'm fine.
No. See, that's the thing. Brady's in hot pursuit for number 4 because he's 0-2 in the Super Bowl. Guess what? I predicted it in 05. Adam Vinatieri leaving the Patriots, won Super Bowl.
Let's move on.
Oh, we're going to...
I am not doing this tonight because kid, no, a kick player. Don't get me wrong. He. My friend.
Go ahead, Marky.
He's extremely clutch, but bottom line, he's still a place kicker, kid.
My friend told
cut off like 1 or 2 plays.
A friend of mine, like one of my best friends, tells me he has a theory. He calls it Adam Vinatieri theory, and I hear it all the time. He said the Patriots will never win a Super Bowl without Adam Vinatieri.
And Adam Vinatieri won one without them. He's in Indianapolis.
Funny little quick thing. I saw a sound bite that they showed on Monday Night Football. I don't know if y'all saw it, soundtracks or whatever. Bill Belichick went over to Adam Vinatieri during the Colts game and was like, "Dude, I'm rooting for you for the Hall of Fame." I was like, "That's pretty awesome." Anyways, that was just random.
He has to make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Most clutch player of all time. He's got Man, he made a 40-plus yard field goal in the snow to send the team to the Super Bowl. Gets no more clutch than that, man.
I don't know, though. Mark Mosley, if he's not in. Phil.
I think that's very good.
Mark Mark Mosley was an NFL MVP.
Yeah. He got the MVP.
1982. The kicker was the MVP of the league.
That year must have been rough.
But
he was doing other stuff too, right there.
His main job is a place kicker.
I mean, but he was like, other shit though, right?
He punted, I guess.
Wasn't he like on like what's his name? Like was he? I can't remember. I was reading some shit about him the other day.
Look, but nonetheless, let's keep going.
We're all over the place. People are gonna hate this.
I think
all those haters out there.
I think that I like Tannehill a lot. I really do. I know I kind of yell at my TV sometimes a little too much, but I am a fan nonetheless. I do think. I don't know. I'm not saying he's the same as Nick Foles because he's not, but there are a lot of things about both of them that I see very similar. They both they don't look like rookies. I mean,
they're wise, man.
Yeah.
They're wise beyond their years.
When you see them play, like it looks like they've been doing this for years. Like they just look so comfortable in everything they do. It's just amazing. And I noticed it especially today with Foles. And I also noticed today that Foles, same with Tannehill. That's Tannehill's main problem is that we can't score. Tannehill is not reliable enough to make big passing plays when you need him to. And people blame our weapons, and obviously we don't have that much talent at on the offensive side of the ball. But nonetheless, I do think that the quarterback has to deliver, and Tannehill sometimes just flat out doesn't deliver. Like when you go 7 of 8 incomplete passes in a row in a game-winning drive against the 49ers, you can't do that. I'm sorry. 7 of 8 incompletions. Give Brady high school receivers, and Brady doesn't have 7 of 8 incompletions. And obviously, I'm comparing.
Unless they just drop him.
But I got you. And obviously, I'm comparing Tannehill to Brady here. But Tony Romo, Phillip Rivers.
He's done that before. He's had no names. He had David Gibbons once.
My point is that Tannehill. I'm not saying he isn't reliable. I'm saying I can't fully trust him yet. I think he can get trusted eventually with time. I think next year we'll really, really see that, especially if we put more weapons around him and if we sign Jennings or Bo or Mike Wallace like we've been rumored to do. Nick Foles, very, very. Today also I didn't see him make the plays they needed to get the drives down the field. Like it feels like when the drives have more pressure on them, whether it be off a turnover in the red zone or whatever. Mentally, that's when you decide the quarterbacks. I think Vinny talked about this. It's not just game-winning drives. It's pressure drives. It's drives where you're expected to score, whether it be because it's the last play of the game or whether it be because you just got a turnover. You need to take advantage of this. like we said before the show, or maybe we said it during the show. I think we said it before the show, talking about Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl with the Steelers. The reason they won that game the way they did was because whenever the Steelers turned the ball over, Aaron Rodgers made them pay for it. Touchdown,
Right.
touchdown, touchdown. Because quarterbacks have this mindset that when they get the ball when they weren't supposed to, they better score. Because that's how you put games away. And Tannehill's touchdowns off turnover ratio is very small. Same with Nick Foles. So, but I think Tannehill will improve a lot. And I like what I've seen from both guys. Brandon Weeden can be a bonehead. I'll never forget the double pass touchdown against the Giants. Like, motherfucker, like a high school, like in my third grade flag football league, I know that you can't do that. Like, now that was embarrassing. But Weeden, he does make some dumb decisions, but I do think, maybe it's because he's fucking 30 or whatever he is, I do think that he's mentally stable enough to, when the pressure's on, it not be a big deal. Like, I think he's another one that's just like, he may make stupid decisions, but, like, you know, he's a little more reliable than these two other quarterbacks I mentioned.
He's the Derrick Rose of foot, man. He'll dig you a hole and drag you out of it.
Hey, the fucking
Derrick Rose, man.
Jason Garrett gets his team down by like 4 touchdowns, and they somehow.
Yeah, he's a coach though, and it's not nearly as as reliable. He's a coach.
All right, but basically, it's a good. Obviously, can we all say this is the best quarterback class in NFL history?
Huh?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You mean in terms of rookie seasons?
Yeah. Rookie season, rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
All right.
I'm about to say because the bet that yo, I'm gonna make a prediction though. They will not be better than the '83 class. It won't happen.
What? You mean these rookie quarterbacks? Like, in the future? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Dan Marino, John Elway, Jim Kelly. I'm done. I ain't even gonna go no further. I'm done.
Andrew Luck, RG3. Yeah.
Well, you think Russell Wilson is Jim Kelly? I don't.
I love how Jim Kelly was the third one in that one.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
That guy's one of the most underrated underrated players in sports. In sports. Like, here, let me read off the entire quarterback class because I have it right here in front of me. John Elway, Jim Kelly, Tony Easton, Ken O'Brien, Dan Marino, God's gift to professional football.
Marino.
Whoa, really? I'll kill you. Like, I'll stab you. Don't you be disrespecting Dan Marino.
It's not his fault though. He was in a Dan Fouts-like situation.
Yep. Hey, well, Dan Fouts had the fucking coach. Coryell's another one that, I mean, he didn't completely change the game like Walsh, but he's definitely like part of that era. Like, Jackie Robinson may have changed the race issue in baseball, but Roberto Clemente was definitely part of the help. I mean, fucking Coryell was a big deal.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. So then, now we have the big games this week. There's quite a lot.
Hold on, kid, did you say what you were supposed to?
Yeah, he did.
I said it at the fucking.
Okay.
At the beginning. He said it at the beginning.
I couldn't remember.
Don't worry, I can't wait for you to say I really don't watch college football after the national championship game.
Drew Johnson is not as good.
Shut up. Basically, fuck, my leg hurts. Okay, lot of big games this week. Lot of really playoff implication games this week. Gonna be very interesting. Let's go down the list. Giants versus.
How do we do last week, kid? You didn't
That's right. Sorry. Shut the fuck up. Okay, hold on. Was that too much? All right, hold on. I have it right here. Markeem won last week. I know that. He beat me. He beat Phil by a game, and Phil beat me by a game. I'm doing pretty bad. All right.
Who's winning overall? Do you have that record now?
I can look it up at the end of the season.
Okay.
But we haven't done it every week. That's the problem. Remember, we took like a break during Thanksgiving, and we took another break when I went to Tallahassee.
Yeah, but just every week.
I'll calculate it towards the end of the year. Okay. Markeem went 6-2, Phil went 5-3, and I went 4-4. Markeem and Phil both picked the Redskins, which, like, during the game, I was like, oh, these fools are crazy. Because the Redskins were winning by, like, 10, 12 points. And then, son of a bitch, Kirk Cousins.
You mean the Ravens were winning?
Yeah, but that's all I'm going to say. Kirk Cousins. They ran 2 plays in a row that were very obviously drawn up for RG3. Like, without question. Like, those 2 plays were in their playbook specifically for RG3. And Kirk Cousins came in and delivered on both of them.
That dude can play, man. That dude can play. He just will never get the chance to in Washington.
I mean, fuck. No. Well, we were talking about this earlier. Maybe there's a good chance that RG3 probably misses like 1 to 2 games every year.
Oh, yeah. But he'll never get the chance to be the guy in Washington.
No, unfortunately. But I think with his 1 to 2 games of great games every year, I think when his contract runs due, some team's gonna offer him a lot of money. Yeah, he gonna get paid. That's for sure. All right. So yeah, you guys picked the Redskins. You both picked the Bengals because you didn't respect the Dallas Cowboys.
And I still
don't.
All right. Look, if the Cowboys fuck it up, they fuck it up in Week 17. Like, I could see them winning this week, beating the Saints, and then losing to the Redskins. They're winning this week, though. But that's a different question. Respect Dallas. I've been saying it ever since we did our playoff predictions. The Cowboys will be in the playoffs this year.
Okay, Eric Mangini. Go ahead. Keep moving. Keep going.
Respect the Cowboys. Okay.
I'll never forget Stephen A. that episode. Are you sitting and telling me, Coach, that Dallas is going to win the Super Bowl? I ain't never seen him that mad. What?
Okay. Respect. I do think if the Cowboys play the Patriots, I think that's a game where the Patriots are winning 40-3 at halftime. Like, without question. I think the end result is a little closer. It'll be like 40-24. But, like, this is a team that gets blown out in the first half. Against Brady?
Yep.
Oh. Brady will have fun with that team.
That'd be awesome. I'll be like, eat this America's team.
Okay. You guys both, all 3 of us picked the Bears because Markeem riding his Vikings train didn't come in handy that last week, did it?
It didn't.
But yeah, the Vikings, Markeem didn't respect his Vikings and they made him pay for it. You picked the Giants. Me and Phil both picked the Saints. We all picked the Rams. We all picked the Niners. And you 2 picked the Patriots and I picked Texans. Which,
Saints game. It was ugly. Ugh.
Yeah, so me picking the Texans and Saints made me 2 games behind Markeem. Phil, you picking the Saints made you 1 game behind him. But yeah, Markeem, you won again.
I don't know how I did that.
It's like the second time in a row you won. Like the last time we did this, you went 5-2, Phil went 3-4, and I went 1-6.
1-6. Oh, my dog can pick better than that.
And the time before that, I can't believe I picked the Lions to beat the fucking Packers 1 week.
I told you, stop picking them fools.
The week before that, Markeem had 1, 2, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1. Markeem went 4-1. Phil, you went 1-1, 2-1, 3-1. You also went 4-1, and I went 2-3. Jesus.
I'm still the only one in the podcast that is going undefeated.
Kid. You suck. The kid is just terrible. I tell you who didn't win this year. The kid.
Probably me, because I was the only one that had that week that didn't pick a loss. Didn't have a single loss.
There's also this week where we all picked the Dolphins. I don't remember what game. I can't possibly remember what fucking game that was where we all picked the Dolphins. I'm looking back and like some of these I didn't calculate. There was 1 week where I went 2-4.
Hey, let's do this off the podcast.
Fuck. All right, I will say this, though. There is 1 week where we all picked the Dolphins, and you both picked the Redskins, and I picked the Panthers. And I remember that game. I was like, watch out. Cam Newton's going to make you guys pay. Cam Newton's going to win this week, and you both laughed at me. All right. big games this week. We start off with the Giants and the Falcons at Atlanta. Markeem, who's winning?
I got the Giants because they got to keep winning to get the Redskins off their heels.
And you think the Falcons?
No other reason than that.
Yeah, that's true. Phil?
I'm going to go out on a limb and pick the Falcons. I don't know what I'm thinking. I think the Falcons need to come out there and make a statement. They got embarrassed by the Panthers, even though, ended up getting a little close at the end, but still. The Falcons need to win this game. Not more. I wouldn't say more than the Giants because the Giants, they lose a game, then they're in trouble. But I think the Falcons. I'm just gonna go with the Falcons winning this game. I think the Giants played the Saints last week and was like, yeah, we need to win. We need a good sized win, and they just destroyed it. I couldn't believe that. But anyways, they had a really good game against the Saints. I think the Falcons need to do this. Is this at home? Is this at Falcons?
It's in Atlanta.
It's at the Dome.
Is it Atlanta? Okay, so I'm even more confident. So I go with Atlanta in this one.
Yo, Phil, it wasn't that they lost. The worst thing is how they lost to the Panthers.
I know.
Man. It wasn't.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know.
Cam Newton looked legitimately he looked like one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the game after that.
Yeah.
That run is still ridiculous. That run was impressive, very impressive. I'll even say that.
But I'm gonna agree with Phil on this one. I'm gonna go with the Falcons as well. Don't really know. It's in the Dome, and I think that it's just time for the Giants to fuck up. I don't have them in the playoffs. I know you two do. I don't have them in the playoffs, and I look at their schedule. I mean, they play the Ravens next week, but I really do think that this is the week we start seeing the Giants of old. This is the week where the Giants just start doing what the Giants do, and I also what was I going to say? I also think Matt Ryan. I think he's going to have a pretty good game. Just that I have no evidence for that, just a hunch. But yeah, I'm picking the Falcons as well. Next we got Bears and Packers. Markeem, I know who you want.
I want the Bears to win, but they just look like Phil was saying, man, they're just downward spiral. I'm going to pick the Bears, though, just so they can stop the bleeding. And that's just honest. I can't imagine them collapsing like that. I mean, I think Lovie Smith is too good of a coach to let that happen. You know what I mean? So I think, Phil said, they might miss the play. That's possible. The way they've been playing. But I'm going to go with them solely because I think they need this win. I mean,
you got a good point.
Hey, let me say this. If the Packers win out and the Falcons lose this week and lose to the Buccaneers, the Packers would have the number 1 seed. How does that make you feel, Markeem?
Oh, my God, that scares me. I don't need that to happen again. I never need that to happen again.
Phil, Bears, Packers.
I've got the Packers winning this one pretty easily.
Wow.
I say easily. I mean, this game is never really. Well, I won't say never really a blowout, but I mean, I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I just don't. I think they win, decisively. I'd say 10 to 14 points, something like that.
I think the Bears.
It's sad. I wish the Bears. I wish I could have faith in that. Maybe I hope they prove me wrong so that I could go back to my preseason prediction and somehow get lucky. But nah. I mean, I just think the Packers got this.
In our midseason predictions, I had a Texans-Bears Super Bowl, which most of the media, I think, would laugh at this point. But you know what? This Bears team is talented. They got a good coach. And it's in Chicago. I'm going with them. I really do think you can only lose so many weeks in a row. I think have they lost 4 in a row or 5 in a row?
No, they've only lost 2 in a row.
What? Oh, I guess
yeah.
I'm including the Texans.
It just feels like
that's what I said.
Because how about this?
Wow.
Over the span of however many weeks, they've lost to the Texans, the 49ers, the Vikings, and who else the fuck did they? The Seahawks.
Right. All pretty good teams.
They lost what?
They've lost 4 of the last 5. Minnesota's the one they won.
4 of the last 5, exactly. This is a good team. People forget, man, that game that they won, they blew out the Vikings 25-10. This is a good team. I still think this team will go far in the playoffs, even today. I'm sticking with my Bears.
I think I will. As much as I've said about them, I do think if they do manage to stay in their role and they stay in the playoffs, I do. I mean, stay in the role. I mean, stay in their spot, their playoff spot, and they make it. Anything can happen after that point. I'm not gonna say that they're out. Once they get there, I think the NFC. I think right now, unless somebody really steps up here in the next couple weeks, but we'll get to that.
Next, we got the Vikings and the Rams. Markeem.
I'm going with the Vikings, man. Adrian Peterson. I expect them to have a big game. Christian Ponder do enough to win. They're at home, right?
Yeah.
No, it's in St. Louis.
Oh no, it's in
St. Louis. Okay, well, even still, it's good.
I don't think that really makes sense.
I think it would be close. I don't think the Rams are quite there yet. I actually don't think the Vikings are there, but I think Adrian Peterson is an unstoppable force of nature, and I think the only way they don't lose is if he gets hurt, which I hope he doesn't. But yeah, I got the Vikings.
Yeah, I got the Vikings too. I think a Rams win here would not shock me, but I mean the Rams are still technically in the playoff race. So I mean,
hey, the loser of this game goes home.
Right. Yeah. Pretty
Vikings
much.
Don't make the playoffs if they lose this game.
Right, and the Rams lose that, they'd be out too. So.
Hey, but I'm saying if the Rams win, and I mean,
right.
that puts them right behind Washington and Cowboys, who still have to play each other.
Right. So I mean, I do have the Vikings winning. I think MVP. That's he's arguably.
No, you said it right.
But yeah, AP. I mean, I know I think midseason I picked Peyton, but I'm starting to switch after watching this guy. Like this, he's just playing on another level. So I think AP he does all he needs to do, and that's 100-something plus yards, and they win the game. So and like you said, Ponder does enough.
I'm going with the Vikings as well. My heart says Rams in an upset because they have been playing really, really, really well lately, like I said they would.
Well, we know what's going to happen now. The Vikings are going to destroy the Rams.
If the kid picks them,
when I saw them play the Dolphins, and I actually watched them play because, I actually watch professional football, unlike a lot of the media that talks about these teams. When I watched the Rams play, I was like, hot damn, this is a good fucking team. In a year or two, this will be one of the better teams in the NFC. And Jeff Fisher kind of sped up that process. Because they lost to us, they lost to if you look at their losses, they lost to us, they lost to the Jets. I think they have a loss to the Cardinals. This.
No, they don't. They swept the Cardinals.
Okay, this team, they beat the Seahawks.
And San Fran.
And San Fran and tied. I mean, 2 games with San Fran, and they came out with a win and a tie. Jesus.
Beat the Redskins too.
It's a good team. I'm telling you. I think that they have a better coach than the Vikings, and I think they're slightly more well-rounded than the Vikings, but I'm still sticking with the Vikings on this one because they've been hot. They've been hot.
What you just said kind of made me think of something. I don't know. I don't remember who my pick was. I feel like I just threw somebody out there when it was, but I think if the Vikings make the playoffs, that dude's coach of the year. And I know that's I know that's crazy to say, but and I know because AP's playing on the level he's playing on, so maybe. But let me put it this way: he should be in the talks of that. Because do you think did anybody see this turnaround coming though?
They had them as They had them as the 32nd worst ranked team in the NFL.
Did they? Who did?
At the start of the season, the Vikings were ranked number 32.
Yeah, they were last in the power rankings.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to put them 32. That's insane. But still, I mean, well, even based on that, then yeah, he should.
Do you know why? Do you know why they were number 32?
Why?
Markeem, say his name.
Oh, Christian Ponder.
No,
Christian Ponder.
I don't think they're 32 because
they had their worst season of all time last year. People don't realize that. That's the lowest record they've ever had. Yeah.
That seems crazy.
Which speaks highly. I mean, what's his name? With the fucking lineman from UFC, USC. I forget his name. Khalil.
Khalil, yeah.
Oh, Matt Khalil.
I mean, is it really surprising that they draft the top lineman in the draft, and now Adrian Peterson's having his best season ever?
Not at all.
Food for thought in that MVP conversation is Jeff. Yeah, I got the Vikings though. They're hot. I trust them. Can't really trust them. Last time I fucking trusted the Rams. Oh my god.
We all know.
Look what that got you.
Oh my god. But yeah, I got the Vikings. Next up we got Bucks and Saints.
Who? You want me to go? Or you want to go?
You can go first. It is in New Orleans, by the way.
You know what? Going with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Because the Saints, they're great in the dome. They're damn near impossible to beat. The Bucks have the worst pass defense in the league. I mean, it's pretty laughable how bad it is. But the Saints defense overall still has a ton of problems. Josh Freeman, Vincent Jackson, and who's the other dude? Mike Williams. They're big and they're physical. I think they'll just impose their will the entire game. Both of them have pretty big games. Josh Freeman have a big game throwing the ball. They can't do anything with Doug Martin. I think they win. I think they win one of the most high scoring games we see all year.
Hey, the last time they played, it was 35-28.
Yeah, this is gonna be a shootout.
Phil?
Oh man, I can't believe I'm about to do this 3 weeks in a row. I can't. Oh, but this week I actually think the Saints do win. They're not going to lose 4 in a row. Saints need to win this game now that they got the kind of.
Hey, they did it earlier in the year. It can happen.
Yeah, they started 0-4. That's true. When they lost to the Anyways.
Besides, the Saints need this game to make the playoffs, right?
No, they can't make it now. No, they needed the other 2 games. Remember I said they had to win 2 out of
I'll say this much though: they play the Bucks, they play the Cowboys, and then they play the Panthers. If they lose out and get like one of those top 5, top 10 picks in the draft, watch out for this team next year. If Sean comes back.
Yeah, because when Sean Payton will be back.
It will be the same team as last year, plus a top 5 player in the draft.
Right.
That's scary. And people forget, last year a lot of people had them as the favorites to go to the Super Bowl. Like, they were neck and neck with the Packers. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Like, they were saying Packers or Saints. I'm not sure yet. Just saying. But continue.
But yeah, I said this before. I said, when it was Atlanta, New York, and then the rest of the Tampa, Dallas, Carolina left on their schedule, I said they needed to win 1 to finish where I wanted them to finish, and then 2 to still have a chance to make the playoffs where I put them. So obviously they're not making it now. But they lost both of those. They can win out and finish. Can they win out and finish 8-8? Is that what I guess?
Yeah.
They finished 8-8. They win out, which at Dallas we'll see. But I got them. I'm going to have them winning this week against Tampa, mainly for 2 reasons. 1, I think they will win, honestly, and 2nd, I need them to win because I need Tampa to start losing again, so that Saints can have like 2 or 3 games on them. So I can just say, what Big Rat? What about who?
Oh my God!
What about the Bucks? Because if they win this week, they have the tiebreaker, and then I just need 1 more game, and I can say they're technically 2 games ahead.
Philip Bayless, with the courage of his convictions, the need to be right, the insatiable need to be right.
But yeah, I got the Saints.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Next up,
it's not, and Marquinhos, it's not necessarily the need to be right; it's the need to not get screamed at by Big Rat.
Oh! If the Bucks finish ahead of the Saints at the end of the season, oh my God! Oh, I'm going to straight up mute your mic because I'm just going to yell at my computer screen for 2 minutes.
Even though it doesn't matter because you didn't have the Saints doing this
because the amount of shit I got from you, so much hate just for saying they'll finish 2nd. Not even make the playoffs, just finish 2nd. So much hate, so much venom. You cursing me out, calling me a fool. Fuck you. I'm paying you.
I didn't curse you out.
You still think that the Saints are going 6-10? You still think that?
I think there's a pretty good chance.
Screw me for thinking Drew Brees could carry this team to a decent record.
I don't think. Let me put it to you this way. I don't think they're beating the Cowboys. That means they have to lose. That means they have to sweep. That means they have to sweep Cam and the Bucks. I don't see them winning both those.
No, they don't have to sweep Cam.
They'd have to beat the Panthers and the Bucks. No, to finish 6-10.
Oh, you're saying sweep?
No, sweep Cam and the Bucks. Win those 2 games.
For them not to finish 6-10.
You're saying win the both games. When you're saying sweep, I thought you
No,
meant
but
because they lost to Carolina.
Basically, in order for them to finish 6-10, they need to lose 2 of the next 3, and I think that's very possible. I am almost convinced. I think I said it when Cam beat the Eagles, where I was like, watch this team become 7-9, 8-8. I'm pretty confident that they might not lose a game.
The Panthers?
Look, they have the Chargers, then the Raiders, and then the Saints.
Oh yeah,
The Panthers are 4-9, dude.
Yeah.
The team's not going to be 8-8.
They're also like what, 3-1 the past 4 weeks, or 3-2.
The Panthers?
Yeah, they were 1-7.
They went out. They're 7-9, which is improvement from last year.
Yeah, if they went out, they're 7-9, but that's
which is a step up.
Yeah, but Cam Newton is a whiny baby that's not any good, and
right. You're right.
He's a sophomore slump loser leader bitch.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think some of that is true, but I think it's way overplayed.
We'll see what he does next year.
Omar Kelly said that when he had the towel over his head and all that shit, Omar Kelly was like, do people realize how many professional athletes put a towel over their head when they lose a game? Like some of the best players of all time. Like
how many quarterbacks do that? Let's be real.
So what? Like you're not allowed to? Like
no, I'm not saying it.
Joe Montana used to do that.
Yeah, whatever.
Dan Marino used to do that.
Well, that's plaintiff then.
Next we got. Okay, next.
kids like fuck you.
Yeah.
Next.
I'm only doing it.
Next we got. Probably the second biggest game this week. The biggest being Sunday night, obviously, but Broncos and Ravens. Markeem, Ray Lewis is back. Ray Lewis is back.
I know. I still got the Broncos. I think they are playing the best football of anybody. I know it's high time for them to lose because they've just been on the hottest streak. But I really think they're playing like the best team in football, and I honestly believe they will not lose another game for the rest of the season.
Hey, they have the Browns and the Chiefs after this game.
They are playing phenomenal ball.
I think Peyton Manning's out to fucking kill a man in the postseason.
Yeah, because he's the greatest regular season quarterback ever.
I hate when Skip Bayless says that.
It's true though.
It is true. It is true. Phil.
I'm gonna pick the Ravens. I'm gonna go out on a limb. And here's a couple of reasons why. I do think Denver is clearly a better team. I want the Ravens to win one. That's a little motivation there. But second of all, I think Denver has, like I said, I mean, not anything against Denver because I think they're going to be the second best team going into the playoffs. But I do think I think that they haven't played that many people, here recently. So I think this is going to be a test. And Ray Lewis, I just think Ray Lewis has proved when they got destroyed by Houston the week after the first week they lost him that I mean, we all knew that's the kind of guy he was. I mean, he was going to be that kind of impact. So I think if he's just, like I said, I've said this before the podcast, if he just even sets a foot on that field, it's going to just change. They're going to want to win strictly for him, and he's going to motivate them. I think he's going to probably give one of the best speeches of his life. Probably they'll probably need to record that sucker for future videos or future little highlights reels or whatever. So I think the Ravens are going to win this game. It is home at Ravens, so I mean, playing at Denver, all that stuff. Throws in there as well as far as mile high, blah, blah, blah. But I think I like the Ravens in this game in an upset, if you can say upset, I guess. But when you got
I think it would be an upset.
It would, but I mean, at the same time,
they're both two of the best 4 teams in the AFC.
I ask y'all a question though: who is going to get to Peyton Manning? Because even more so than Tom Brady, you give that dude time, he kills you even worse.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, yo, I respect y'all. Like, I don't know what you're gonna do, kid. You're talking like you're gonna pick the Ravens, but
No. I'm picking the Broncos. I already have it written in my Word document.
Oh, okay. Well, I just don't understand how Peyton does not just go completely ape shit in this game. I don't see how that doesn't happen, Phil. But I respect your pick, though.
I mean, and I agree. I mean, I can't. I was just thinking. I was like, can I try to dispute that? And I can't. So, I mean, like I said, I don't know. I just feel like if the Ravens lose this game, then they got the Giants and the Bengals. Like the Ravens are not going to finish the season losing 5 straight. I was just talking about this with Big Rat before the show.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know it's more favorable to give them a win against the Giants, but I just think this week and because I have the Giants losing this week as well, that kind of goes into it as well. I know it's crazy to say it like that, but I really think that the Ravens pull this off. If not, all power to Denver. And Denver needs this win to me to at least say that they can. They've beaten a team, decent team.
This is a statement game.
But yeah, right. And I think Peyton Manning will probably shut me up and make a statement. And like I said, I'm not downing Denver at all. I'm just saying if people are going to say it about other teams, they got to say it about Denver too. So. Which they did beat the Bengals. Don't let me forget that.
I need the Ravens to win because, as I was talking about with Phil earlier, in order for the Dolphins to make the playoffs, now the Bengals have to lose out, and they play Pitt.
You still holding on to this bullshit?
Yeah.
Yes,
No, I don't think. I don't think you. Can you listen? I don't think it'll happen. I gave up after the Bills game, after losing to the Patriots. That was like the nail in the coffin. I said the day of the Bills game, if we don't win tonight, we're done. But the Patriots game, when we lost, I was like, okay, now mathematically we can't win the division. I'm just looking at, as a fan, things that I can root for these next few weeks to make it more entertaining for myself. Right. And basically, for those that are wondering, how can the Dolphins make the playoffs? The Steelers need to lose this week. The Steelers need to win next week because once the Bengals win another game, we're out of it. If the Steelers lose this week but beat the Bengals, they'll both be tied at 8-7. And if the Dolphins beat the Jaguars and the Bills, they'll be 7-8. And in Week 17, if the Browns beat the Steelers, and the Dolphins beat the Patriots,
look at this long, elaborate shit.
I know.
It's not that elaborate. We went out, and the Bengals lose out, and the Steelers lose this week.
And the Browns don't win out.
And
That's what I had to say, man.
Basically, in Week 17, but here's my point. In order for the Bengals play the Ravens the last week of the season. So in order for them to lose to the Ravens, I need the Ravens to actually want to play that game. They need something to play for.
Okay, I got you.
Originally, I told Phil, well, if they lose to the Broncos and they lose to the Giants, then they need to beat the Bengals to win the division. But the Bengals can only win the division if they beat the Steelers. And if they beat the Steelers, they already knock out the Dolphins out of the playoffs. So they can't be fighting for the division. They already have to have the division locked up. So what I need them to be fighting for now is the first round bye. And that, in order for that to happen, the Patriots have to lose this week, which is possible. The Patriots have to lose to the Dolphins, also possible. And they have to beat the Broncos. And they have to win out. If they win out and the Patriots lose this week and to the Dolphins, the Ravens get the number 2 seed. So right now I'm rooting for the Ravens to win so that way I can get the Ravens playing their starters against the Bengals and giving the Dolphins a chance. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Broncos are just on a different level right now. And they have the longest winning streak in the game right now. I don't know if you guys knew that. Yeah, more than New England.
Yeah, I know.
They're on an 8-game winning streak, I think. So I'm gonna respect Denver. I do think I thought it was the Texans, but I'm gonna need to see more from the Texans until I see this. But they might be the most well-rounded team in the game. I know Willis is gone, but if Willis was on the field, I would say without question. But he's not, so I can't say that. But I think they're playing well, and the Ravens just aren't. Shit's not clicking with them. I do think they're mad. I get it. They're mad. They want to come back. They want to win. But, the Ravens they've just been playing. Do you guys remember that they almost lost to the Chargers? The Chargers.
Yep.
Yeah, but
and then they lost to the Steelers, and then they lost to the Redskins. It's been bad times. I think they'll beat the Giants, but I don't think they're winning this week. I got the Broncos. Then we got Colts, Texans. How's Andrew Luck going to do, Marquine?
I think he gets them once because they got to play him twice, but not this game. I hate to pick against my boy, and it hurts. This is one of them games I want to be wrong, but I think after what happened last week,
Yep.
This is like the last team that anybody wants to see right now.
Yep.
And I hate that my boy has to see them after. Like, I wanted them to just lose. I didn't want them to get killed. Like, when they got killed, I was like, oh, shit. So, you know, I like, especially after what they did to the Ravens the last time they got murdered. Man, Andrew. I just hope you make it out in one piece. I got the Texans pretty easy.
Phil?
I've got the Texans winning too. I do think, like, I agree with Markeem. I think the Colts get one, but I don't think it's this one. I think it's the Week 17 matchup at home. I think the Texans win this. I don't know if necessarily because they're mad, but well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens as far as that. But you know, I think that they mainly destroy. I mean, part of it was them being, you know, obviously getting destroyed by the Packers, but you know, part of it I still stand by the whole Ray Lewis thing.
I mean, that too.
But I think it was a combination. I think they still win decisively against the Ravens the way they played. I mean, Eric Foster was doing really good in that game. Yeah, he probably makes it.